Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Listen online, the website that rocks, KMOD.com. Past shows are available on iTunes. Search under BMMS. Listen with your cell phone. Get the iHeartRadio app. Available from the App Store of your cell phone provider. More on that at iHeartRadio.com. And we're on Facebook, facebook.com/BMMS69. That's where you can hang out with us each and every day. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning, Corbin.
Tickets to Jerry Cantrell and qualify for Rocks and Roses. See, Jerry Cantrell will be playing at the Tulsa Theater on Tuesday, February 25th. Tickets available at tulsatheater.com. Winners are going to get a $100 Moody's gift card and be qualified for Rocks and Roses, which could get you a $1,000 Moody's gift card. Are we doing that today?
Yeah, they're supposed to let me know later on who the big wiener is.
Average.
Well,
We'll see what Gimpy wants to talk about. I just appreciate the heads up this time.
yeah, no problem, man. Anything I can do to help things along.
You do some bizarre things.
Uh-huh.
This time you just gave a heads up, which I appreciate.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll get into that.
I'm excited.
It's definitely a word to use. We've got Conspiracy Theory Thursday. We've got our top list. And today, the top 5 strangest movies you've ever seen. That'll come up later at 9 o'clock.
Uh-oh.
I got a question because I'm not sure where to start today. Bizarre? Question mark? Or movie list? Bizarre question mark or movie list? What are we thinking? What are we feeling?
I'm all about the bizarre.
Hey, sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Kind of goes with the theme we got going on today.
Okay. So this family found out that the mom was dying, right? Tragic. Tragic. And they found out she had 17 tumors on her brain. The family, they even video documented that she was, when she told her family, her kids, right? Her young children. She was only 35. The youngest was only 8 at the time. The others were 12. Right? Just incredibly tragic. They were high school sweethearts. And, if you've ever been a part in an intimate way, somebody dying, it's almost like every day you go in with the expectation that there's going to be a positive.
Okay.
And there's just not. In my 2 experiences, it always felt like, okay, let's find out what's happening.
Right.
And it was devastating. It was a really dark moment for me twice. And so I can only imagine what it felt like in a family scenario, right? Like your husband, wife. I experienced it with one of my best friends, and I experienced it with, I guess 3 times. And then with my dad, right?
Okay.
And this couple, they were married when they were 21 and 22. Like I said, she found out she had cancer. And he decided to do a grief photo shoot.
A grief photo shoot.
Near the end.
Okay.
She had brain tumors. She had breast cancer. Not awesome, right? And they documented a lot of stuff. And she had to go to hospice. They stayed with her 5 days a week. And after she died, he tried to keep her alive, so he started sharing about his grief journey on social media and exposed that he did this. People do an announcement when they're newlywed photos, right? When you're engagement photos.
Yeah, sure.
When you're pregnant, right? This is a very common thing to photo document lifestyle events.
Yeah.
But now you want to remember how sad everyone was?
I don't know if it's... I hear you. On the surface, I agree. But also, we more than ever document
everything.
And why not document just because it's a sad milestone, you don't document it?
Right.
Okay, so he is doing a photo shoot of himself.
No, then they also did one together, like near the end.
Okay, and that's kind of where I was like, okay, everybody gathered together, and she's got her wig on or whatnots, and
No wig.
okay, just straight bald, and cancer patient, dying nonetheless. If you remember Steve Scott towards the end there, wasn't looking good, So I was kind of like, is it that kind of photo shoot? Or was it, just pictures of
And they're
Kim
smiling in the
sharing?
photos that I've seen. She's smiling.
Yeah,
They're
I get that.
smiling.
Yeah, they're together. That's her old man, her husband. Yeah, and of course she's going to be smiling.
And maybe, as I started this with, that history I have, the memories I have are not awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But these are photos showing not every day was dark.
Right.
Right.
And if you said they had young children, maybe it was her wish too to make sure that
He doesn't say
children-
that. He doesn't say any of that.
Right. But I'm maybe it was important for them to make sure that their children never forgot who she was.
Well, don't they have other photos?
Yeah, they documented a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So you wouldn't need to me, holding on to pictures of somebody at their very worst, right at the end, like death is knocking. 1 foot in the grave sort of thing. I don't think that's right.
It's interesting you say that because you're someone who has admitted to having photos or taken photos of caskets,
Yes,
like someone in
absolutely.
their final stage.
Yeah. I've got one of both my parents and some of me, grandparents and great-grandparents as well. Seems to be a weird thing my family does.
Yeah, but why is that not weird? But this is because those people are dead. These people are alive.
That's a very good question. That's very valid. They're already gone. And the job that the funeral home has done to prepare them, they look a lot better than they would,
Okay.
dying. Again, I go back to because the only time that I have really, been there with somebody through their whole journey of having cancer in this case, and then finding out that I wasn't there to hold his hand when he died, but Steve Scott. Great guy, loved him to death. Probably one of the best dudes here that I knew. Is just always a chipper kind of guy, But watching him go from what he was, and then seeing that journey and how he just withered away. And don't strike me down, Steve. I'm not trying to talk bad about you or anything, but just watching him wither away. And you remember when we had his final going away party here.
Yeah.
Right? We had a lot of, past employees.
Yeah.
And it was, hey, everybody gather around Steve so we can take a picture. And Steve's front and center looking like the goddamn crypt keeper, not looking good at all. And it was just a very awkward photo.
I think that was a scenario that he didn't.
I'm
Yeah.
sure,
That wasn't
sure.
what he wanted to do.
So the
and
difference...
I want to make point too about him. Some people, and in this case Steve, don't like the idea of stopping their life.
Oh, I get that. Totally
And
get that.
he pushed through a lot of things because so much of who he was wrapped up in here.
Absolutely.
And so for him, this was life.
I get
Yeah.
that. I totally
and he
get
wasn't going to go and sit on a couch or in a hospital bed or
Right.
that wasn't who he was as an individual.
I get that. I totally get that. But, they didn't have an open casket for Steve. I didn't get to see what he looked like. I knew what he looked like when he was dying. But the fact of it is like you asked, why you take pictures of people that are already dead as opposed to, on their way out. I just think they look a lot better. I think the funeral home did a great job of presenting them to look very well,
Now-
as opposed to right at the end.
With your dad, I didn't go up to the casket. I'm not a big fan of looking at dead people. It's I'm pretty okay with that life choice. So I can't say that one, but I have been to open caskets and have walked by them, and I feel overwhelmingly they never look normal. They never look better.
Okay.
They look very fake. They
can
look
see-
very
Yeah.
soulless.
Right, yeah, because they don't have any blood circulating through them. They don't have the color that you naturally see in them. I totally get that.
And capturing that for
Right.
eternity
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
is not something in my arsenal of things I want to do.
I just think, seeing somebody with a sunken in face and just, bleh.
Okay, here we go.
Right.
As a spouse of a cancer warrior, I totally understand this. I'm not saying it's something I would do, but if you have children and grandchildren, I can understand the desire to show them the good days and the bad days. And I think it helps him hold on to the memory of the one person that has passed on. That might be the best said, right? Because there shouldn't be just bad days. Like I said, I only remember the bad days.
Right.
I'm sure in my dad's final journey, there were good days.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't recall them.
But for him, I'm sure they were good.
I'm sure we laughed. I'm sure we had fun together. Why not have those?
Yeah. I guess.
And they're young. This guy in the story is young. He's 35. He's going to move on. You would think he deserves to be happy, and if happiness for him is to find more love, he should go on that. He should do all that. If he's like, nope, there's one true love, and that's the end. Okay, man.
That's his deal.
Yeah, that's if that's the way you want to live it. But then you're going to have all these photos, and then what do you do with the photos? And then does your new partner go, hey, you can't have a photo of you and your cancer-ridden wife?
Right. You know, I think
Yeah.
talking about this takes me back to like when people post pictures on Facebook of their grandparent, spouse, family, whatever that's in the hospital dying, and they're on the bed and they've got the tubes hooked up to them and they got the wires hooked up to them. And I look at those, I'm like, holy S, why would you put that out there? I understand, say a prayer from a grandma, you know, I get that, but do we really need a visual to go with, or at least that one right there?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, there was this old timer I used to run around with in the club, and he died, it was last year before last, something like that. And, you know, I've got a picture of him flipping me out, but he's in the hospital as well. Tubes hooked. And even that, a brother to me, I'm like, oh, goddamn, Grizz, I don't know if I should post this picture or not. It was a little weird.
Did you post it?
I don't think I did. I might have.
I'm just saying, like, to me, it is far more weird taking pictures of dead people than of people alive smiling. Now, as far as people in hospital beds, I think there might be some other things happening. Like, some people take those photos to make the other person feel normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're in the hospital and you got tubes, you feel not appealing, and I don't mean it like sexual, but like you just feel your worth feels really low.
Yeah,
Right.
you're
And
not
if you
at
get
your
a
best.
if you get a photo taken, it might be like, hey.
Cheer up.
And if you're in the hospital for a year fighting cancer or whatever, and there are moments where they look better than in other days, you might want to take a photo to document that.
Yes.
Right.
And then on top of that, let's just say you have a kid who's fighting cancer in the hospital, and they're in it for a year, and you stop taking pictures of your kid. Your kid ages a ton in a year. So you might go, I got to take some photos. It's Christmas. It's their birthday.
Right.
It's my birthday. It's grandparents' day.
This text says, something someone told me once after losing my dad to suicide was that I was there for him during his best and his worst. I have photos of us together from picking him up from the mental hospital, going to Arby's afterwards, etc. Regardless, they're memories I get to cherish regardless of the pain. And I guess that's how I have to look at it. You know, regardless of the pain. The pain's going to be there anyway, whether you have photo documentation of it or not, the pain's still going to be there. But I feel that when, at least maybe it's just for me, that when I look at those pictures, it brings all that pain back, and I don't want to deal with it.
Well, okay, there we go. Compartmentalize.
Yeah. But I feel
Stuff it to the back.
Yeah, I feel I'm not the only one that feels that way either.
That's fine. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it the best practice. And I've said this before. I think we've all said this before in this room. Grief is a nasty bitch.
Sure.
And if you need to do a photo shoot, if you need to take a body of somebody in a casket, if you need to take pictures of somebody in a hospital, do it.
Right.
Because everybody's roller coaster of grief is completely different.
Right.
And it is hard to manage. And if that's what you got to do is do a photo shoot with your sickly partner or your sickly child because you want that photo, do it. Because when they're gone, there ain't one.
Exactly.
Well, that actually used to be true. That's not true now. Because I get hit up all the time about how I can take a photo of my dad and have my kids superimposed into the photo.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I can have AI make my dad, doing something or even talking.
Yeah, which is bizarre.
Yeah. So I guess that's not true anymore.
No.
It's not authentic, but
It
hey.
works.
If I fake smile, is that authentic?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in the hospital dying and you're like, let me get a pic, Gramps, for the social. And you're like, that's not authentic. Yeah.
But even on scheduled days when you're getting family pictures done, if one of you is in a bad mood, you're faking it then, right?
100%.
So,
Well, you said authentic, not
yeah,
me.
Right.
I don't think any of the pictures are ever authentic.
Right.
I don't think any pictures are only candid. You don't know, like your eyes half opened,
Right.
your hands kind of blurred because it's moving.
Right.
Those are the
Right.
only authentic ones.
You're right, because we've been programmed smile for the camera.
Say cheese.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And but when you don't smile for the camera, you're just there being yourself or whatever. People are like, "What's wrong, grumpy Gus? You don't want to smile for the camera?"
In our house, our half bath, we have photos of everywhere we've been. My wife and I, our kids, and all those photos are just of our foreheads and then the rest of wherever we're at. And I feel like those are some of the most candid photos ever because the whole reason the photo exists is because we went to these places. But we were like, well, we got to be in them.
Right.
It's funny.
You guys should start painting eyeballs on your foreheads.
Well, no, again, it defeats the I'm just saying that, like, that to me is more candid than any of the other, like, fake smile. Even when we take, like, a photo, we had daddy-daughter dance. We did that. We always do also one do whatever you want photo.
Yeah.
Because that's a real photo. That's who we are as a family. Not unless one of my kids is like, I don't want to be silly.
Right.
But they don't have to smile if they don't want. They don't do anything. They can just stand there. And we have some of those photos, and they exist and go through photo albums and stuff of my kids grumpily staring at the camera while my wife and I are like, this is awesome. Because that's real, right? Yeah. Grief photo shoots. Anyway, all right. Hey, we're going to give tickets away to Jerry Cantrell. Take a break, and we'll be back.
Tulsa's Morning Show, the Big Bad Morning Show.
Redecorate one part of the house, but you still have those old ass chair and footstool sitting there. Do you get what you picking up what I'm putting down? Like
Yeah.
you got a new schlong, but do you replace do you get new testes to go with it?
I mean,
It's going to look in proportionate.
I'm just making an assumption. When you get an implant, the idea of you procreating is over.
Right.
True, but you
So-
want things to look.
Listen, if you have a shed in the back of your house that you never use and don't put anything in, and your house burns down, the insurance company ain't going to rebuild your shed. You didn't use it. Just saying. I want to know, is there different models and versions? Like when you get an breast augmentation, there's choices.
Oh, yeah.
Right. The filler that's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there is.
And like we know people that are diabetic and they don't have to do the test. It's just a thing that updates on their app. They get warnings and notifications. It's very sophisticated.
Yeah.
And will even, in some instances, disperse the insulin needed.
Yep.
Can you do that with a pump? Is there like a Tesla model where you go, hey, from 4 to 5 or like, I don't know. Hey, I'm going to be on a date.
I want to be erect from this time to this time.
Yeah. Is there like, in the colder months, do you have to let the car warm up? I don't know.
Right. That's fun.
Is there a remote start? Is there a subscription that it can
Right.
let you know when things aren't right and like
Right.
you need to? I'm just.
Bluetooth capable.
Yeah.
It feels like because this is a man surgery that there'd be all these extra things that are unnecessary to continue to let a man be lazy.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely. Yes.
Do you name it? You know people that get their limbs chopped off and they have phantom limb surgery or
Yes.
feeling where they feel like their limb's still there in many instances and have usually some sort of psychosis episode happen with dealing with it and trying to come to terms with it. Does that happen when you get a penile implant? Like, kind of like after you've been to the gym and you're like, look at me.
Right. Well, that's what happened with this guy, the Falconer.
Yes.
Look at me.
Women do that with breast augmentations too, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Time.
Yeah. Man angered by barking dog cuts fingers from man with machete. This happened in the Bronx on Friday, all because of a barking dog. A man was walking his dog near a bodega in the Bronx. his dog began barking at another man who police say didn't like it. He got so angry, they say, the man pulled a machete, tried to attack the dog. And when the dog's owner stepped in front, like, hey, the man swung the machete and sliced his fingers off,
Ooh.
removing 4 of his fingers, 3 which they recovered and had a 14-hour surgery to put the fingers back on. 1 they can't find, and according to the guy who this happened to, he says, I think a bird took it.
I think the dog ate it.
Right.
Maybe. They're looking for this guy. They have no idea his name. The person that this happened to says that people were taking video and not helping him. And at one point had to yell, please call 911.
Wow.
Because so many people were just shooting video and standing around.
Right. Well, trying to get that next viral moment.
Mm-hmm.
At most, I don't know how much you get, but I would think at most you get what, like $300, maybe $100?
Maybe so. I don't know.
I think it depends on how many followers and views you get.
You're not going to get all that off of one video.
I think that hasn't anything to do. I think it has to do with how good the video is.
And then other like news agencies will pick it up, buy it from you. So
Yeah, that's true.
You could probably get it, at least $1,000.
Oh, I don't think so. You think?
Maybe.
I don't know anybody that's gotten money doing that.
Nor do I.
So it must be, for many people that just decide to, become a Kodak moment. I don't know anybody that gets money. Matter of fact, the video the news agency used was from a surveillance video that the police released.
Yeah.
I'm more shocked over how many people are using machetes nowadays.
Right.
You really don't seem to hear a lot about that, except for the last year or so. We've read so many stories of people attacking other people with machetes.
I mean, I'm somebody who believes that news is hardly new. So I think we just hear about it more often.
Right.
I think machetes are just easy to carry.
Right, exactly.
I don't know how.
Well, on your hip. Shatink.
They're not small.
No.
I mean, I have a machete, and it's serrated on one side. So that wouldn't, unsheath that would not be awesome.
I don't know. Maybe they carry it on their back like a sword. I don't know.
And I think there's a limit to how long a blade can be. I don't know what it is in New York, but I don't think you can just carry a machete on you in a sheath around, maybe while you're working in the jungle.
Right.
Right, of course.
But I don't think you can just walk into a grocery store with a, what are those blades? They've got to be at least 13, 11 inches. That's what she said.
And this was in New York, you say?
Yeah. But I don't think you can just walk around with a machete strapped.
Right.
It says in New York State, knives with blades longer than 4 inches are prohibited
There you go.
in New York City, but not in the rest of the state.
Okay, well, the Bronx is New York City.
Yeah.
So what does he hide it? What do you hide it in? A backpack?
He pulled it out of his coat.
There we go.
According to the reports, he reached into his coat and pulled out a knife. A knife.
Key West couple arrested for having sex on a public sidewalk. This happens last week at 4:20 in the morning on a Tuesday. Police were doing their patrol down there in Key West, and they saw a man and a woman in front of a pet grooming store. And, well, the woman was bent over in front of the man. The man being 41-year-old William Genot, and the woman being a 38-year-old gal named Diane Clausen. So cops roll up, and they see Diane bent over in front of old Willie here, and Willie was thrusting his hips back and forth. So I guess the cop sits there and watches for a little while because they continue going on about it until the cops turn their lights on. And then that's when they stop, and Willie put his Willie back in his pants, and then old Diane put her dress down. They ended up taking them both in for committing lascivious acts with another person in a public place. Now, apparently, old Willie just moved to Key West and is working for a yacht company, and Diane lives there.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. News quickies are stories you may have missed in the news. We cover them here and put a link on our Facebook page if you want more. Facebook.com/BMMS69.
It's time for News Quickies, world news, local news, and news that just makes you say, what the Now here's Corbin, Gimpy, and Lindsay with what's going on. News Quickies from the Big Man Morning Show at 97.5 KMOD.
Dentist nabbed with 100 canisters of laughing gas after police chase. This happened in Houston, Texas, where a dentist led cops on a brief chase Saturday before getting nabbed with more than 100 canisters of nitrous oxide stashed inside his car, and he admitted he likes puffing while driving. Christopher Michael Pedler, 39 years old, was charged with eluding police and possession of laughing gas when he was arrested. It is a very sad situation, said Houston Police Constable Alan Rosen. The very product that they use, 107 canisters, he said, is substantial. He had been using it while they were driving around and admitted to it. He has a problem. And it wasn't the dentist's first bust over his alleged addiction. Court records show that the dentist was charged with interfering with a public servant and possession of a volatile chemical back in October as well. According to the news outlet, he was out on a $5,000 bond in that case and was ordered to undergo treatment. In his new case, Pedler was allegedly driving along the street on Saturday when he was spotted by a patrol car going 44 and a 30, and he refused to stop. He pulled over about a half mile later and allegedly confessed to the chemicals. Cops in Houston said the dentist first refused to pull over before being busted with the laughing gas. Now, the Dental Examiners State Board said that it would not comment on open complaints or investigations. So.
They had to have been whippets. There's no way he's doing 10-pound canisters. He had 107 10-pound canisters in his car.
Yeah. It says canisters, 107 of them to be exact.
Yeah, there's no way he had 107 10-pound canisters.
Right. I mean, even the whippet's still considered a canister of sorts.
Sure.
Yeah.
And he mainlined it, or did he have a cracker?
I think you kind of have to have a crack. I guess. I mean, you could take a screwdriver, puncture the top. And
no way. The cold would be too much.
Yeah, you got to have a cracker then.
And I haven't done whippets since I was in high school.
Yeah.
Right.
And a dentist, man.
Did it say how old this dentist was again, Lindsay?
39.
Okay. That kind of makes sense. I mean, I wasn't doing whippets in my late 30s, but whatever.
Dentists have more suicides than any other profession.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I don't know. There definitely is studies, though, that correlates with dental debt and what services they want you to get done.
Ain't that the truth? The most expensive ones. Got to pay for that college tuition somehow.
There was a story, I'll try to find it and share it, and it was so fascinating because they sent somebody completely healthy, had their teeth checked before they started, had them go around to dentists around the country, and every dentist gave them a different diagnosis.
I think we talked about that. Yes.
It's an incredibly fascinating story. Incredibly fast, and he had perfect teeth.
Yeah.
Anything for money. Woman beats man with a dildo. This seems to happen quite often. There's this gal. Her name's Jalissa Negron. She is 50 years old, and she lives with a 52-year-old dude. Well, did anyway. Now, I guess the situation that they had there is that she was going to live with him for a little while till she can move to Connecticut and start her life over. That was the plan. Well, recently, they were chilling at the house, and she had been drinking. And she starts arguing with this dude about who he was following on Instagram. And she's all up in his face. And he's like, hey, listen, you guys to stop or I'm going to call 911. And that's when she pulled out a dildo, God knows from where. and starts to beat the man with it. He gets away. He calls the police. The police come out. He warns the police, listen, she's naked. And she might flash you when you go in there. Well, they got to go in anyway, so they do. They try to talk to the woman to see what's going on. They say she is jacked. They can't get a clear story from her. They went ahead and arrested the woman for misdemeanor battery. Apparently, these guys, the Jalissa and the dude she's living with, were married in Connecticut in 2003. But it didn't say whether or not they got a legal divorce or not. So,
Stop feeding the cat. You got divorced.
Right.
She's going to start her life over. When?
well, bye.
Yeah. How about today? I'm a big fan of I'm just going to run away. Do you need me to help you pack?
Uh-huh.
I'll just leave you. Do you want help putting stuff in your car?
I don't want to know who's got a dildo on the ready.
That's a whole other thing.
Right.
Pull it out like a sword. Shink. That just doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
does she keep it in her bag?
Back pocket.
Maybe, because based off what we know of the second half of the
Right,
story,
she
where
was
she was a
naked.
drunk and naked and whatever, that starting her life over was she was about to go to rehab soon.
Okay.
Because I could see that, your ex-wife wants to stay with, hey, I got kicked out, I'm gonna go to rehab, but I can't go till Wednesday. I've been a part of putting somebody in rehab, but I don't actually remember the recall of we'll see you on Wednesday or come on down. I don't remember how that worked.
Right.
But maybe that's possible, where they were yeah, we can get you in. How does Friday between 1 and 7 work for you?
Great. I'll stay an alcoholic until then.
Right.
Not an uncommon thing. Man charged after making bomb threat against a hospital. A Minneapolis man is facing up to 8 years in prison for making fake bomb threats to the hospital. Thalopius Hayes is accused of calling in a threat to the Hennepin County Medical Center this past Sunday. According to reports, the hospital call center received a call from someone saying, I placed the bomb in the hospital. It's going to go off. Thank you. Hayes reportedly confessed to being drunk when he called, adding that he was upset over how the hospital treated him months ago. I went down a rabbit hole. This is a really common thing. People call hospitals and call in bomb threats. I don't know why.
No.
Yeah, what good is that going to do?
Now, maybe you were mistreated or whatever. What about the 999 other people that work in the hospital? What about all the patients? What about all the babies? What,
Yeah.
It's a wild take, man, to call in a bomb threat. So now, not only was he treated badly in the hospital, he's going to go to jail for a felony
Right.
and really find out what being treated poorly is.
Right.
All these stories are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BMMS69.
Tulsa's morning show continues next.
Could be the end.
It makes sense, though, especially at that time before they had anti-diarrhea. They didn't have Imodium back then.
Pepto.
Right, Pepto or whatever. So you just had to deal with it. And diarrhea will dehydrate you severely.
Which breaks down your kidneys.
Well, what I was thinking was, did they die of diarrhea, this is it? Or were they dehydrated?
Yeah. Something had happened that caused him to get seriously ill like that and caused the diarrhea and the shutting down the kidneys. The question is, what was it?
Probably
was
the flu.
it malaria? Was it the flu? Was it
they didn't know.
The ale that they were drinking? Because it's not like they were necessarily sanitary.
There was
back
no
then.
indoor plumbing.
Exactly.
James Monroe, he died of tuberculosis,
Okay, yeah, that seems right.
right? We talk about that. Quincy Adams, he died of a stroke, but listen to this. He died from a stroke inside the Capitol building after casting a vote against honoring U.S. soldiers who served in the Mexican-American War. Sorry, you deserved it.
Yeah.
His decision got him all right up. It's just so out of his mind that he stroked out right there.
Yeah.
The big guy was like, damn it.
Fine.
Quincy Adams, again, a historic figure that we talk a lot about. Andrew Jackson, he died. He had a musket in his body, in his chest cavity, never dealt with it.
Oh, like a bullet from the musket. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
and then died. And but he lived decades.
Wow.
Yeah, his body adapted to this foreign object.
I love
that's
that.
in him.
A minute ago, you're like, yeah, that was, that was the way it was. Musket, you'd think he died. You're like, well, no, his body adapted.
Right.
Martin Van Buren, right?
Number 8.
Yeah.
He allegedly had a plan to stop the Civil War and said, I'm going to form a committee, and then he died.
Oh, or was he?
Right, exactly.
murdered?
I mean, if you go back and read history about the Civil War and the the ways to stop it or whatever, or not stop it, it's pretty, conniving.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. William Henry Harrison, he died from a fever.
Oh, no.
If you might remember, he was like, no, I don't need a coat.
Right.
He died, got a little sicky.
Went outside with his wet hair in the cold, huh?
Right? Let's see. There was a really good one here that I wanted to bring up. James Polk died of cholera.
Okay, yeah, that seems about right.
Zachary Taylor, he died from gastroenteritis, which is diarrhea. He had severe stomach pains for 5 days and then died.
Oh, damn.
We're like, I got some stomach cramps. How long do I go? Not this guy.
Right.
Because there was no internet.
Right.
Millard Fillmore.
Oh, Millard.
Right. Yeah. He died. Okay. This is pretty funny. All right. So after finishing Zachary Taylor's term, he sought to be the nomination for the presidential election, but they chose someone else. To add insult to injury, he didn't even win the election. He lost to Franklin Pierce. Go Pierces. At least when the other party told him to F off.
Whoa.
Oh, poor Millard.
Yeah. He just died of natural causes, but Franklin Pierce died of cirrhosis of the liver.
Old drinker there, huh?
James Buchanan, he died of respiratory failure. Lincoln, can you guess?
He went crazy and lost his head.
Or did he? He got killed by a celebrity.
You're right.
Not a joke.
Nope.
Famous actor killed him. Who was jealous of his brother, who was actually more famous than him. And he was like, I'm going to be more famous than my brother. I just didn't know so many presidents died of diarrhea.
Yeah, right.
No.
It's a thing.
It makes sense, though, especially for that time in history.
And to think we don't know, I got to be honest, I don't know if I've ever been told a president has diarrhea.
No. There might be a reason behind it now because so many of them die. We're like, listen, we don't need to scare the citizens. We'll just tell them that you got a little stomach bug. We won't tell them you got diarrhea.
Yeah.
I mean, when you become the president, your movements are highly influential to the market, to the world, to people's emotional state, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine going from just being like, whatever, and then you've got to let some guy know, like, hey, I got the Hershey's, man.
Right.
And they're like, God, hit the buzzer. Get everyone in here.
Yep.
Or you're like, two, and they're like, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
Get every doctor in the country.
Yeah. Get him a mask.
Right now.
Right.
Call the doctor.
Or maybe, you think your president's like, I don't need nobody's help.
Mm-hmm.
Get back. I'm fine.
All right, but as soon as you got diarrhea, sir, we're stepping in.
Right. This is a matter of your diarrhea is a matter of national.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. There have been times I thought mine was a matter of national security.
For real.
At least some sort of security. There was definitely some border security issue
Right.
when I've had it before. Little rabbit hole I went down that I found incredibly fascinating.
I wonder if the president has somebody that's like, sir, you can't eat that. It's going to give you massive diarrhea.
And you're allergic to that,
Yeah.
according to your last food sensitivity test.
I bet it's a little more elevated than that. I bet there's one, I bet he can ask for anything he wants.
For sure.
And two, there's probably a little more precautionary measures taken. It wouldn't surprise me if his stuff, I can't imagine the city sewage is connected to the White House. It wouldn't surprise me if the president's sewage gets incinerated or...
You are not wrong there at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all either because people are weird.
Well, foreign governments.
Foreign government, I mean, I don't know what kind of information they're going to get. But at the same time, there's a company that wants you to crap in a box and mail it to them so they can do tests on it and see what's wrong with you. So I guess I just don't read poop enough, to know what's going on. So maybe so. Maybe you can learn some things. Like, this is his weakness. He has a weakness for Chipotle.
I mean, you can learn a lot from sewage, and they can measure the health situation in a community by just taking samples of fecal matter in the sewage.
Right. That's how they found, the COVID results or whatnot. So they find it in the wastewater and stuff like that. I get it.
Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah. All right. Does the White House connect to the city sewage? Yes, the White House is connected to the Washington, D.C. municipal sewage system. However, due to security concerns, there are additional safeguards and filtration systems in place to monitor and control wastewater leaving the premises. How much does that cost?
Right.
How much? How much would be too much? I think that it's a fair security issue.
Absolutely.
I think $12,000 is...
A month, a year?
A year. That's $1,000 a month. That's not that bad. Now, if it's $12 million a year, then...
It's easily $1 million. One, you got to pay one person just to monitor it.
Yeah.
And then I can't imagine that person also does the repairs. And when do you update it? Two, are there new versions?
Right.
Is that a competitive market? Is the fecal matter checking system of presidents or high person? I mean, I think even as far as it wouldn't be just the president.
No,
and Elon Musk. No. I'm outside of the White House. Elon Musk, the head of Dell.
Yeah.
Right. Bill Gates.
Yeah. Those type of people,
Really
I would
smart
imagine.
people.
Yeah. Well, rich people.
But what are you going to find? What are you going to get from those people?
Their DNA.
I guess that's about the only thing, really. And you're going to clone one? We've all seen Multiplicity. Come on. We always know you can clone as many as you want. There's always going to be one retard, one that thinks they're smarter than everybody, the other one that's just goofball anyway. Cloning is not good. So to clone these people, you're not going to get an Elon Musk. You may get something that looks like Elon, but it sure isn't going to have Elon's brain.
I mean, I think we've shown AI. We just got to get close.
True.
And people will believe it. You don't even need the real person. You don't even need to see that person say it.
Right.
And we'll believe it.
Right. And you can take it a step further, with the combination of AI and robotics and Hollywood makeup artists. Do we really need cloning anyway? Because somebody can make a robot, we'll use Elon Musk as the example. Somebody can make a robot Elon, looks just like him with the improvements of AI, sounds just like him, And then you start digging through, you can get all of his little quirks and weirdness, and then people would believe it. And then you could kill off the real Elon and then have robot Elon walking amongst us.
I don't know why Michael Bay continues to make movies about Channing Tatum protecting Jamie Foxx because he wanted to be a Secret Service agent, but just went on the tour and just found himself in a very lucky situation. When you could make a movie like this, where a foreign entity or a group of malicious people steal the president's poop, make a fake president, and then parade him around as if he's the president. And it is fantastic. So apparently, Tyreek Hill decided to comment on all this. And according to deposition testimony, Tyreek Hill researched this person by viewing plenty of sex tapes before messaging her via Instagram. Quote, how the boys just be kicking it and you be like, hey, bro, I got the tall female in my phone. He also claimed he wasn't especially attracted to her, which, at least according to her, didn't stop him from sleeping with her twice after he allegedly broke her leg. As for why she would sleep with Hill after he broke her leg, she claims she felt very vulnerable and wanted comfort. He, on the other hand, explained in his deposition that despite not finding her to be attractive, he slept with her anyway because she's tall. Maybe this is a fetish of mine. She also explained that she didn't leave or call the police after Tyreek Hill allegedly broke her leg because he was only aggressive in that moment after they had laughed at him and during those plays. But after the plays, it went back to a normal demeanor, so he was being more of himself. Tyreek Hill also admitted in his deposition that while they were playing football, he grabbed Sophie Hall's breast in a motion like a player getting underneath an opponent's shoulder pads, and that it was a little foreplay-ish. He also said he had nothing to do with her breaking her leg, laying all the blame on his dog, Chapo. Quote, she stepped on him, almost squished him to death. She just fell on her butt after that. I went and made sure my dog was all right first because my dog, like, that's my prize and possession. I love Chapo. Bro, you're going to lose some money.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Even if it's your dog, you are still responsible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's on your property.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes.
I think it's fantastic that he still stooped her twice after she broke her leg.
Right.
Isn't he married?
That's what I thought. But then, I thought there was a whole long video of them getting engaged. But then I thought maybe that they had split up too.
Listen, it would not be crazy for somebody in the spotlight to not be faithful and still get married while being unfaithful.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
But if anything, he's going to be responsible for her medical bills.
Oh, no, she's getting money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is. Yeah. Yeah, she's getting money.
You think? I don't know. I feel like he makes a valid point of she didn't call authorities after the fact that her leg
Doesn't
was
make it
broken.
not a civil dispute.
2 days.
It's a civil
2
dispute.
days.
It's not a criminal dispute.
Okay.
It's a civil dispute.
They got married in 2023.
When this happened.
I'm not seeing anywhere where they've gotten divorced.
He messaged her in May of 2023.
Okay. Yeah. And his old lady's pretty hot.
Yeah,
Of course she is.
She ain't no Amazonian Sasquatch, but, she's still cute.
Is she tall? At all?
No, she's shorter than he is.
This girl isn't hideous.
No.
That he banged. She's 6'4" in heels. Tyreek Hill's 5'8", if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she's a very voluptuous-looking woman. Yeah, like she can touch the ceiling.
For real.
Yeah.
Did you see a picture of her, Gimpy? Have you seen her?
Of the model, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an Amazonian. She's tall, she's thick.
She's a thick
You know?
woman.
She ain't no Mama June. That's good.
No,
you know, but
not even close.
But she's very proportionate for her height and weight.
Yeah, she
You
is. I wouldn't call her fat at all.
No.
She's a thick girl, sure. She's got some curves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's a beautiful woman.
He wanted some of that.
Yeah, he did. He didn't want it. He got it.
Yeah, twice.
Bring your kid over. We'll play some football. I'll teach him some things. And later, I'll teach you some things.
Yo, broke her hip and still banged her.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that she went through with it, too, is mind-boggling. I'm like,
Well, if he was like, I'll take care of you, or had already been taking care of her in some capacity, I could see that being like the thing.
Okay. Small price you pay.
People do that, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I've said this before. The things women will go through for men is astounding and ignored just to please, to get some. It's astounding. Men would never do. Anyway, great. I mean, the storyline, like in a deposition, it wasn't like he was on a podcast.
Right.
Man, Tyreek Hill's wife, even pregnant in a bikini, smoking hot. God damn.
Not good enough. He's like, Yeah, I got Wagyu at home, but I'm going to go out to eat.
I want some
Exactly.
I want. I have the best steakhouse in the world at home, but I'm going to go to GC.
Right.
No offense, JC.
Former MLB stars Patrick Mahomes Sr. and John Rocker will face off in the boxing ring. Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy announced yesterday the two have signed contracts to headline his upcoming Rough and Rowdy event. The fight will take place on April 18th in Wheeling, West Virginia. The announcement comes after the 54-year-old Mahomes, the father of Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and Rocker were seen in a confrontation on New Orleans Bourbon Street during Super Bowl week.
This is so stupid. Two nobodies anymore,
Right?
right? The only reason Patrick Mahomes' father is because his son is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, and he can't stop drinking and driving, so he gets plastered on the news.
But again, that's only in the news because of his son.
right.
Right.
And then John Rocker is only famous for being, what was it? An asshole.
Yeah, there you go.
A known asshole. Everybody says he's not awesome. And these two are going to go fight.
Yeah.
And Rocker's 50-something, I think.
Yeah.
Senior's 54. Dude, as someone who's 50, the idea of getting in a ring and punching people doesn't sound. I can't keep my shoulders not injured.
Right.
Right.
And you think these two are in any shape at all to be throwing hands?
Not at all.
Dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by the award-winning service of Groundworks Tolls. Was that other one was like 43 or some drive?
42.
Like 42, 69, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Deadass or fake news. Sound travels 15 times faster through steel than through the air. Deadass or fake news. Sound travels 15 times faster through steel than through air.
I'll say dead ass.
That ass.
Deadass. Sound can travel faster in metal than air because the molecules in solid, which is a metal in this case, are arranged closely together and they are tightly packed, which means the sound can travel faster in a solid as opposed to air or gas, which has molecules that are far apart. Deadass or fake news. Winston Churchill was born in a ladies' room during a dance.
His mama had him at the prom.
Right.
Good thing there wasn't a dumpster around.
No, just a bucket. I'll say fake news.
That ass.
She was at a dance when labor began, but the fun part of the story is his conception, aren't they all? Depending on who you believe, he was conceived before his parents' marriage. Winston was born in 1874, halfway through the Victorian era. The wedding of Lord Randolph and Lady Randolph Churchill took place at a British embassy with none of the splendor that an international society wedding of such wealth and standing would normally receive, no public ceremony, and little mention in the press. The Duke and Duchess of Marlborough, the parents of the groom, were also conspicuously absent. Winston arrived 7 months later in a premature birth that was described as unremarkable. It was 1874. Babies born that early, rarely did well. When asked about the circumstances of his birth, he was once quoted as saying, although present on the occasion, I have no clear recollection of the events leading up to it, which means, for those that are trying to keep up, that they got pregnant early. Mm-hmm. And they can't have somebody of royalty be having a baby out of wedlock.
Right.
So they had a marriage and then fudged the line.
Right.
And they're like, oh, look at this baby born so early.
Yeah.
It advances medical care. Like, look how great our doctors are. Deadass or fake news. The best-selling candy in Russia is Snickers.
Ooh.
Deadass or fake news. The best-selling candy in Russia is Snickers.
I'll say dead ass.
I'm going to say fake news. It's a zero bar.
The bouquets they have right now, the grocery store, not a lot of flowers,
Yeah.
lots of candy bouquets. I was shocked by that. My wife's birthday was yesterday, and I went to pick something up, and they had a lot of candy bouquets
Yeah.
set up.
Did you get one?
No. My wife isn't a big flowers fan, so I just bought like a plant for her for her office. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, an orchid, a little tiny one.
Love those.
Yeah, I said when it dies, so does our love. So she didn't laugh. Orbit gum dominates the Russian candy market with 445 million in sales. In second place, Alpine Gold chocolate bars, which gross less than 198 million. That's fake news. I didn't know Orbit gum was Russian gum.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
Dead ass or fake news? The Roman numerals XL stands for the number 40. Dead ass or fake news? The Roman numerals XL stand for the number 40.
Ooh. Sure, dead ass.
Gimpy.
Dead ass. Yeah. L is 50. X before that is 10. 10 minus 50 is 40.
It's exactly right. Dead ass. The only reason we even care about it is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Dead ass or fake news? There's an island in the Bahamas named Pig Beach Island that's populated entirely by swimming pigs. Dead ass or fake news? There's an island in the Bahamas named Pig Beach Island that's populated entirely by swimming pigs.
I'll say dead ass.
Dead ass.
It's 100% dead ass. There are 20 to 25 exuma pigs, but they're not the only inhabitants of the island. There are a few stray cats and goats there, too. And I think it's so disgusting. Because what do pigs do?
Waller around in their own crap.
And poop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's always when they always show horses in the water. I'm like, people swimming nearby.
Right.
Yeah.
Dead ass or fake news? The urge to eat raw potatoes is called legomophilia. Dead ass or fake news? The urge to eat raw potatoes is called legomophilia.
Fake news.
I'm going to say dead ass.
Fake news. It is a real thing, but the official name for it is geomelophagia or something to that effect. Don't write me. Put your phone down. Dead ass or fake news? Lightning never strikes in the same place twice. Dead ass or fake news? Lightning never strikes in the same place twice.
Dead ass.
Fake news, man. Think of that guy from the Great Outdoors, got struck in the head 99 times.
It strikes in the same place quite often. The Empire State Building gets struck over 100 times a year. Dead ass or fake news? If you cry in space, the tears just stick to your face.
Dead ass.
Fake news.
Dead ass, there is a video of Chris Hadfield demonstrating this on the International Space Station if you want to see it on the tube.
I wonder what they did to make him cry.
Told him his mom died? I don't know.
Right, exactly.
You're stuck here forever.
Nah,
That would make me cry.
we're out of the ice cream
Right.
that no one likes. Dead ass or fake news? Humans can distinguish between over 1 trillion different smells. Dead ass or fake news? Humans can distinguish between over 1 trillion different smells.
Wow. I'm going to say fake news.
Dead ass.
It's not as good as a dog, but yes, the human nose is pretty good, and it's dead ass.
Wow.
If you asked me to name 10 smells, I don't know if I could.
Right. Yeah,
Just
you
off
could.
the top of your head, or like what you're smelling around you?
I think we as humans clump them together. So you may go vanilla, but also that counts as sweet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there is definitely a different, brown sugar smells different than vanilla.
Right.
Yeah.
Sugar smells different than vanilla.
Yes.
But we lump, like when you think of cookies, the vanilla is the smell that usually gets put out. So I think we lump smells together.
That's possible.
Cleanliness, fresh also get lumped together.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's where you're like, aren't we just using a thesaurus at this point?
Man arrested for sex acts with a horse. This happened down in Polk County, Florida, where 53-year-old man from Polk County is being charged with sexual contact with animals. Here's what we know. The Polk County Sheriff's Office said they responded the day after Christmas to the Lake Wales area in reference to possible sexual activities involving an animal. Officers said they spoke to a woman who told them she saw the man engaging in sexual actions near her horse's head. The horse is 28-year-old Raven, and officers said the woman took video of part of the incident to show the police. Deputies stated the video confirmed what the woman had reported, and the man told police he made a stupid and dumb decision. Officers reported the man knowingly engaged in the sexual acts with the horse, and they said they placed him under arrest.
But what was it wearing?
Right. How did the horse look at him?
Did you say this horse was 28 years old?
Yes.
That is an old-ass horse.
Yeah.
I was looking at like the horse years to human years, right? You know, like dog years, they say it's like 7 years to a
Yeah.
human year. A horse's first year is roughly equivalent to a human's 6.5 years. After age 4, each additional horse year is roughly equivalent to 2.5 human years. So this was like banging an old granny. Like old granny. Like Queen Elizabeth.
Hey,
old
grannies need screwed too, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love grilled cheese as much as the next guy. However.
Yeah. Gross.
And that seems to be a common thing. There's a lot of people that like to have sex with horses. And I find that very odd.
They're nice people.
I'm sure a little long in the face, but whatever.
Zookeeper goes into lion enclosure to impress fiancé and gets mauled.
Of course.
The things we do for the ladies.
Right.
A zookeeper at a private zoo went into the lion enclosure to film himself petting the lions to impress his fiancée. Unfortunately, the 3 fully grown lions inside didn't seem to believe in love and attacked, killing the man. What were described as his partially eaten remains were found 4 hours after the incident, and 2 of the lions were tranquilized because they escaped the enclosure after the 44-year-old man left it unlocked. The 3rd lion was shot. Reports say the man was an experienced, I'm going to put quotes around that, it's not in the story, but experienced lion handler. That's why I don't love seeing videos of people put their head in alligator heads, or you see sometimes they do it with lions. I'm like, you are dumb.
Yeah.
You are dumb. You may have done this 100 times. You only have to not do it once
Right.
correctly or be overpowered for erasing all the times you did it correctly.
Mm-hmm. And now your half-eaten body's being picked up by, janitors.
And you'll never know if she was impressed.
Right.
I'm going to make the argument she's not. But
She's probably thinking, you dumb ass.
you've traumatized her.
Yeah.
If she had to witness it,
Yeah. Yeah. Was she there? Because if the body wasn't found for 4 hours, it feels like she must not have been there. He must have just been making a video to send to her. And then maybe they found the footage.
yeah, I don't know.
Because if I were there witnessing it, I would have been 911.
Yeah, it's a different time, though.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
different.
the way online dating works and stuff, like, send me a video of you with your kitty, and then he sends that. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Ex-lawmaker forced to return toilet and sinks after election loss. This comes out of Brazil, where last year, I'm pretty sure I'm going to ruin this woman's name, Janaina, something. Ms. Lima.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. If you haven't been to the Canes Ballroom lately, you'll want to on Friday, March 14th, to see Giovanni and the Hired Guns. Win your way there at KMOD.com.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning, Corbin. Listen to us on the iHeartRadio app. Not only do you have thousands of live stations just at your fingertips, you can set us as a preset. Not only can you set KMOD as a preset, but you can also set the Big Man Morning Show's podcast as a preset as well. It's that easy. Just boom. And don't forget the talkback feature. That's how you can get with us.
Be around the world, take my strong hand, get on the give train, on the give train. Be around the world, take my strong hand, get on the give train.
Nothing gets me going in the morning like old men getting raped.
I am so excited right now. So I gave you guys some homework at the beginning of the week. I'm imagining that you guys did your homework, right?
Yeah.
So Friday, we leave here, headed out for the weekend. And I'm going to go home. I'm gonna eat some lunch. I'm going to sit down and watch a little TV while I eat my lunch. I'm going to take a nap because I got to go to a Thunder game later on. So, all right, got my lunch, and I sit down, and I turn on the TV, and I hit the guide button because I'm looking for something just to fill some time while I eat, okay? As I'm scrolling through the guide, I come across this movie called Sasquatch Sunset. And it was on Showtime. And as the description said, It says, in the misty forest of North America, a family of Sasquatches finds themselves on a collision course with the ever-changing world around them. I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. It's a movie about Sasquatch. Maybe Harry and the Henderson, like, who knows what I'm getting myself into? So I click over to it, and of course the movie has already started. At this point, it's probably maybe a quarter of the way through, so I didn't get to watch the beginning of the movie. And I have to tell you, this is probably the most bizarre, effed up, yet interesting movie that I've ever seen in my life. So I had Corbin and Lindsay watch it so we could talk about it. And both of them shaking their damn heads right now. What?
First of all, I feel robbed because you didn't even watch the whole damn thing.
No, I did. I watched the entire thing. I've watched that movie 3 times already.
What?
Yeah. And I found myself audibly saying out loud, why am I watching this? And why can I not stop watching this? So the movie starts off. You see like about maybe, well, what do you say, about 6 to 8 Sasquatch roaming through the wilderness, right? There's a group of them. And as they are walking through, they're just living their little squatchy life, man. And then all of a sudden, this one Sasquatch, it films over to this one Sasquatch, and he is just totally railing another Sasquatch. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. Okay, where's this going? Because keep in mind, when I started it, I was like, holy hell, I have got to find out when this movie is on again, record it so I can watch it from the beginning to the end, and that's exactly what I did. So I'm taking you now from the beginning to the end of this movie called Sasquatch Sunset.
I can't believe they played it more than once.
Oh, it's on there. And the fact that it's on Hulu and Paramount Plus and all these other streaming services.
Yeah, you can rent it anywhere.
Yeah. And it's a new movie. It's a 2024 movie. It's a Jesse Eisenberg movie.
Yeah,
that was
Riley
one...
Keough. That's Elvis's granddaughter.
Yeah. So these are like names I recognize. I'm like, this should be a good movie. Good? That's subjective. Different?
Nope.
Different.
Nope.
Is the
This
way
movie's not subjective.
So, all right. So back to the one Sasquatch railing the other Sasquatch. I'm like, all right, that's interesting enough. So then they go through, and the Sasquatch are just doing squatchy things, man. They're taking giant sticks and they're banging on trees. And I guess that's how they communicate with other Sasquatch. I learned that throughout the movie. That's how they communicate to see if there's other Squatch around. They'll take big sticks, they collect them together, they hit them on the trees, they go whoop, and that's how they communicate. All right, this is interesting. So then it goes from like 6 to 8 Squatch roaming the countryside to now we're down to 4. We got a mama Squatch, a daddy Squatch, a baby Squatch, and what I call the alpha Squatch. The alpha Squatch is he's the bigger one out of all of them, and you can kind of tell that he's the one in charge. Okay.
He had a scowl on his face the entire time.
They all kind of had scowls.
I don't think Jesse Eisenberg's Squatch.
I don't know which one that was.
He was the daddy Squatch. He was the one
banging.
No. See, now that's the fun part because Daddy Squatch and Mama Squatch, Jesse Eisenberg and what's her name? Keely. What's her name?
Riley Keough.
Riley Keough. Those are the two that I'm assuming are in a relationship, and this little baby Squatch is their baby. It's like a toddler Squatch, right? Maybe like a younger child Squatch. But then you've got the alpha Squatch who was banging Mama Squatch, and then meanwhile, Daddy Squatch, played by Jesse Eisenberg, and this baby Squatch are watching alpha Squatch bang Mama Squatch. Just totally cucked right there in the woods, right? There's nothing he could do about it because this is the alpha. This is the man, right?
See, I took that scene as those two were banging, and the other ones are just like,
what's going on? Yeah.
Because I could be wrong. I've never been an animal.
Right.
But I don't think there's marriage.
I don't know. They're like penguins pick their mate for life, right?
We like to believe that, yes.
I think that's been proven scientifically. They give them the little
great
pebble
storyline.
and this is who you are for life. Regardless, that's how I understood.
Like 300 different species of penguin or something. Go ahead.
That's how I understood the hierarchy of these Squatch that are in there. So as the movie goes along, they're still doing squatchy things. Keep in mind, not a single word spoken.
Yeah, there's no dialogue.
At all whatsoever. There's grunts, there's whoops, and that's about it. They communicate. I figured they bang their two hands together. That's how he knows that, hey, I'm trying to have sex here. Because Alpha
There's a hand
Squatch,
puppet.
there was a point in time where the Alpha Squatch, they're all eating these berries. Remember that? And he gets drunk on all those fermented berries or whatever.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
goes on a trip. Yeah,
yeah, and he wakes up and he's all disheveled. You know, after you wake up after a bender, your hair's all over the place, and you're just kind of. But he wakes up and he's horned up. And by the way, so much Sasquatch dong in this movie.
You mean baby carrot wieners?
Listen.
Not a porn, Lindsay.
Not all Sasquatches have,
or people,
yeah, have massive wieners. I'm sure that's average.
Not me.
They're
Not
the
me.
weirdest wieners
Others.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, how many have you seen, Lindsay?
I mean, they didn't look right at all.
Not that this is a fun stat, but I'm going to say Gimpy and I are more experts with wieners than you are. Gimpy and I have seen more penises than you have because of a locker room scenario.
Sure.
So
And
and we also have one. Yeah. So you for sure are not the expert with penis in the room.
But even after having 3 sons,
Oh, good for you.
None
Your
of
kids
those.
what a weird thing
yeah,
that your
right.
kid,
Those
you're bragging your
didn't
kid's endowment.
they look nothing like penises on those Sasquatches.
Very interesting. So he wakes up from his berry trip and he's all horned up and he's trying to go bang Mama Squatch again because he wants some. They're all building the shelter or whatever, and he catches her all bent over and he's like, hubba hubba, and tries to go over there and get some. And she freaks out. No.
Yeah. Batting them off like crazy.
For real. And then he gets mad, bro, whatever, and then looks over at this piece of wood that they were using to hold up their structure, their house that they were making for the night, and it's got a hole in it. And
Oh my God.
He's like, huh? Might as well. So he rips that out, and the whole house collapses. And now everybody's angry because they worked so hard. Mama Squatch, Daddy Squatch, Baby Squatch worked so hard to build this shelter, and he's just ruined it because he wanted to stick his wiener in a piece of the wood that was holding it all up. So he goes running off, and he's still in a drunken stupor, hungover, traveling through the woods. And he finds another mushroom, right? The ones like you see on the Mario Brothers,
Yes.
right? And he eats that, and then he's really tripping now. And then he stumbles across this cougar, an actual cougar, in the woods. And he's like, I'm going to hump that cougar. So he tries to pull that cougar out of its little cougar den. Cougar isn't having it. Cougar ends up killing him and eating him.
Yeah.
So now we're just left with Mama Squatch, Baby Squatch, Daddy Squatch, Jesse Eisenberg, Riley Keough, and then whoever played the part of Baby Squatch or whatever. And so they're still going through life. And I can't remember. I think, was it the street? Remind me, guys, was it the street when they discovered the road that came first or the log? And the river. It was
road.
the road that came
The road
first.
came
and
first.
that is where I stumbled across this movie on Friday that made me say, what the hell am I watching? And I could not stop watching this movie. It had me hooked. I was in. So these 3 Sasquatch, they're walking through the woods, making their way around, doing squatchy things, and they come across this paved road and they start freaking out. Oh? They look over here. They're freaking out. There's more of this whatever going this way. And then they turn around and there's more of this this weird stuff going this way, and they don't know what's going on because they've never seen a paved road before. They're just dealing with the woods that they've always been in. And that's when it gets weird because as they're freaking out over the roads, Baby Squatch, Daddy Squatch start peeing all over the road, marking their territory, maybe even. And then Mama Squatch gets involved, and she squats down. She pisses all over the road. They end up crapping all over the road. And the funniest part is when Mama Squatch starts forcefully lactating all over the road.
Yeah.
I says to myself, and even my girlfriend, because I made her watch it too, she said, what are we watching?
Yeah, I think that's exactly the point in time where I sent a text message to Corbin saying, WTF, does Gimpy have us watching here?
Yeah. And I just replied with an emoji because I was trying not to have dialogue about it.
Right.
But I watched it in the pickup line. It's the only real alone time I ever get. So I watched it in the pickup line. So I'd been watching chunks of it over the couple of days. And I know this is going to be really hard for people to believe, but I try really hard to not yuck people's yum. But don't watch this movie.
Oh, come on.
It is a waste of time.
I'll give you, the ending was not exactly the best.
It's all
But
not the best.
It had everything, man. It had suspense. It had
No.
life. It had death. You know,
What was suspenseful?
all of it. How about the fact that when Jesse Eisenberg's Squatch had gotten trapped under that log in the river, and he's fighting for his life. Mama Squatch, they don't know what to do. She's batting water away from his face, trying to make sure that he can continue to breathe.
That was funny.
Well, and she's trying everything she can.
Because they're animals. They don't know any better.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's trying to roll that old tree back, that log back, so he can at least get out. And then he ends up dying right there.
Yeah.
And then it flashes, and it's Mama Squatch and Baby Squatch wake up on the shore, and
Yeah,
there he is
so
getting eaten by birds.
usually for me, when I feel suspense in a movie, I have developed some sort of connection to the character where I can relate to them, I understand, I have empathy, whatever. So what I'm hearing Gimpy say is he has empathy with animals.
Oh, yeah, you can say I'm an animal lover, yeah.
No, not what I said. Not what I said. You have empathy for the character, the animal, of like just wanting to bang wood and getting high and sleeping with whoever, like that. I had no connection with any of these characters. I had no understanding. If you want an absurd movie to watch when you're high or drunk, this is the movie.
Definitely.
But if you ever watched 2001: Space Odyssey, the beginning, and been like, they should make a movie out of this. That's what this movie is.
Okay, I've never seen that movie, so I have to go and check it out.
In the beginning, you see the evolution, the beginning of the evolution of man, and it's silent, and there's gorillas, and at the end they throw the bone up in the air, right? And then it lands. That's what this is.
Okay. My girlfriend described it as a bunch of actors that just wanted to, play the part of Sasquatch and pretend.
That's the other road I went down, is like, they convinced the movie studio to make this movie. They found funding,
Yeah.
a couple $1 million at least,
Yeah.
to make this movie. That is disgusting.
It is twisted. It's interesting. I was hooked. I could not let go. I will give it. The end was very disappointing when it's just Mama Squatch. And now 2 baby Squatches, because she's given birth to Alpha Squatch's baby, which that scene was disgusting with the crowning and then the plop on the ground, and then you think you've got dead baby because she wakes up and that baby's not responsive. So what does she do? She starts shaking the S out of it. And eventually the baby wakes up, comes to, starts crying or whatever. And I was like, oh.
Most annoying cry ever, by the way.
Only in par in the movie.
Right.
He said disappointing. That's the only accurate term he's used.
Yeah.
The movie.
I was like, what did I do to Gimpy? Where have I wronged him? This is going to, when they write the book of Gimpy, this is going to be one of the turning points in the book.
Yeah.
Where you go, that's where things really went south, huh?
Yeah.
I think the turning point's well before that, but point taken.
You would think. Hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
Those things you would equate as the turning point, you didn't think so in the moment.
I have had to tell so many people about this movie. You've got to watch it to understand and get it. You may like it. You may not like it. You're definitely going to leave your head
To
scratching.
understand it?
I didn't understand it at all.
I don't think you have to understand it. It's just a movie. It's just entertainment. It's effed up entertainment.
Yeah, I kind of like my movies to have like an ideology going on, or maybe a
Right.
message, a beginning and end. Anyway, this is a great text. This might be the best text ever that we've gotten. At least someone tried a new story and didn't regurge the same old thing.
That's a true statement.
Yeah, at least remember, Corbin, there was a writer's strike. They had to come out with whatever they could.
True.
That's fair too. Those are all very good. Thank you so much for clearing that up.
Sasquatch Sunset, catching on Hulu, catching on Paramount Plus. It's worth the watch, in my opinion.
Been around the world, take my strong hand, get on the give train, on the give train. Be around the world, take my strong hand, get on the give train, give train.
Nothing gets me going in the morning.
Well, guess I'll go do my yuck.
Right? I'm canceling the show.
It's not worth it. Yeah, I'll be late at least.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you needed an eye patch. That means they were like, well, we should, unless he's being dramatic, maybe he's embellishing a little bit. But the man tends to have a lot of accidents
Yeah, he does.
in his later, in his sunset years.
He doesn't look good with an eye patch on. Some people can make an eye patch look good. Jay Leno is not one of them.
I don't know if good's the right word. You look intimidating or scary, but I don't know if there's very many, let's use, if it was a woman and a man, a woman going, he looks sexy with an eye patch.
Right?
Can't think of anyone.
Snake Plissken looked great with an eye patch. Tell me I'm wrong.
He looked scary,
Yes.
but I don't think he looked good.
He looks better than Jay Leno.
It's like turtlenecks on men. They don't work, dude.
I'll give you that. Men should not wear turtlenecks.
No man looks good in a turtleneck, full stop.
Or V-necks.
Okay, I think I don't like V-necks, but I think V-necks stylistically, yes.
I don't know.
If you have the right build.
Simon Cowell is the one that comes to mind when I hear men's V-necks, and I don't want to see Simon Cowell's cleavage. Just saying.
Which men's cleavage would you like to see?
Yours.
No, nice try. I know the answer to that, and you left off the word again.
Texas woman drunk drives through busy parking lot during police chase with open container in hand. Audrey Marie Schneider, 37 years old, was driving down I-35 in Comal County, Texas, near San Antonio, in her white Toyota SUV on Thursday when a state trooper attempted to pull her over for a traffic violation around 2 in the afternoon. Instead of pulling over, Audrey reportedly ignored the officer and sped away, igniting a destructive high-speed chase. She led the trooper on a reckless pursuit through 2 counties, driving erratically on the highway, ramming into multiple cars, including a patrol cruiser, and eventually into a shopping plaza. A video of Audrey recklessly driving around the shopping center with patrol cars hot on her tail shows the alleged drunk driver circling the parking lot at an alarming speed with what appears to be a drink in her hand as onlookers try to keep their distance from the mayhem. So her SUV is eventually cornered down a row of cars with 2 police vehicles briefly trapping her. But Audrey hits the gas, rams the rear of her SUV into one of the cop cars, then slams into a civilian's vehicle, which gives her enough clearance to get away. The hot pursuit finally ends outside a salon inside the shopping center. She jumps out of her vehicle barefoot, bolts into the business, and is chased down by a trooper who enters the salon and gets assaulted by her while he places her under arrest. So the trooper apparently wasn't hurt in the scuffle. No injuries were reported. She's seen being taken out of the business in handcuffs by officers, smiling and repeating, "I'm so sorry. I'm so, so sorry." Officers pin her against their cruiser and search her. She interacts with the crowd of onlookers, smiling at them and saying things like, "Santa's coming, and I'm back, bitches." That's what she's saying to the crowd. She was evaluated at the scene for injuries before being taken into jail. She's facing charges of evading arrest aggravated assault on a public servant, driving while intoxicated with an open container of alcohol in her vehicle. Now, according to court records, this isn't her first rodeo involving driving while intoxicated. She faced a charge of obstruction of a highway while intoxicated back in 2017, but the records show that the charge was dismissed due to her being granted deferred adjudication.
In the video, you can see her chugging while she's driving, too. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a really great video.
Finish it before they stop you. They take you in. You can't finish that beer in jail now, can you?
Yeah.
Right.
Nope.
It's a really great video from the standpoint of you want to see a train wreck in real life.
This is
She's
it.
a mess.
Well, maybe she'll learn her lesson this time. I doubt
Yeah, I don't think so.
it. Man flees deputy on a lawnmower and then shoots himself in the hand while being tased. Comes out of Michigan, where there's a guy, he's 41 years old. His name is James Kerr. Now, James Kerr has several warrants. And in September, Deputy Henderson with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office went to his house to serve his warrants, take him in for his warrants, right? Well, when he gets there, he sees that Jimmy here is on a riding lawnmower. And he's like, hey, you need to stop. We need to talk. Well, that's when Jimmy punches the gas. He starts driving. Right. We're going to take this from turtle to rabbit. And, so he starts driving directly towards the deputy, right? And, I guess in attempts to run him over. But he didn't run him over. Deputy gets out of the way, and Jimmy just keeps on driving down the road in his lawnmower. Well, he eventually wrecks it into a ditch, okay? And while... Let's backtrack a little bit here. The lawnmower with Jimmy on is still going down the road, and the deputy is now chasing after him. So now Jimmy wrecks the lawnmower into a ditch, gets off the lawnmower. The deputy's like, hey, stop or I'll tase you. Stop or I'll tase you. Jimmy don't give a damn. Jimmy whips out his pistol and turns around, and he's going to shoot the deputy. Well, the quick-thinking deputy tased Jimmy, right, before he could get shot. So... what happens? Because of the tase, Jimmy ends up shooting himself in his hand with his own gun. They ended up taking him to the hospital where he was treated and then later released. And they say now there's a Michigan State Police investigation and the Sheriff's Department. They're all doing an internal investigation, and which led to charges of assault with intent to murder, felony firearm, and resisting and obstructing police charges against old Jimmy Jim.
I mean, you're not throttling all the way to Rabbit. You got to ease into it.
Oh, yeah, right. You'll flood your carburetor.
Okay, so couples.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Jerry Cantrell is going to be at the Tulsa Theater on February 25th. That is a Tuesday, and we've got a pair of tickets. And we're also going to qualify you for Rocks and Roses. Let's play a game. All you got to do is win Schnipp, Schnapp, Schnurr. Current record is...
Well, I have 2, and you have 2, and Lindsay has 1.
And last week's winner, that'd be Lindsay. So Lindsay can't play. But you can pick between Gimpy and Corbin. Jerry Cantrell, February 25th, Tulsa Theater, and you get a $100 Moody's gift card for Rocks and Roses and be in the running for the... We're on the cusp of announcing the winner of a $1,000 Moody's gift card for Rocks and Roses. 918-460-KMOD, 918-460-KMOD. Good morning, you're on the air. What is your name?
Good morning, it's Matthew.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Who would you like to give clues, Gimpy or Corbin?
Let's do you, Corbin.
60 seconds are on the clock. Timer starts after the first clue. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. This is a snake king blank. This is also
Cobra.
correct. This is a device that tells you north, south, east, west. It's got a magnet.
Compass.
Correct. The track blank. Will you blank me at the coffee shop?
Meat.
Correct. This is a device that's not a pencil. You would have to fill it with
Pen.
the liquid. It's a certain type of pen.
Ink.
Yeah, but it's got a special
Ink
name. You go to a drinking.
Ballpoint pen.
You go to a drinking.
Fountain pen.
There
Fountain
you
pen.
go. Yes.
Fountain.
Live and let.
Let it die.
Yep. When the opposite of dull. If something's too strong and it pricks you or cuts you open, it's very. The knife is very.
Point. Sharp.
Yes. This is not a emu. Oh. 6 is what I got. Is that what you got?
That is correct.
6. Pretty good, Matthew. Hang on the line, okay?
Okay.
Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
Taylor.
Taylor, how are you today?
Good. How you doing?
Good, buddy. You and Gimpy got to beat 6. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Here we go.
Oh, this is a metal container they put beer in, and when you drink it, you're upside down. What is that called?
Keg stand.
This is the most famous ice cream and hamburger shop here in Oklahoma.
Oh, shoot.
There's one on every corner. Sells biscuits and gravy. You get a bag of burgers for like $5. It used to be $5. Anyway.
Ron.
There you go. Ron Burgundy is your blank man. This is also a big metal thing that holds the boat in the water.
Anchorman.
Yeah, just say take off man.
Anchor.
There you go. This is what you take if you don't want to have the baby. If you had sex and it was unprotected, a woman would take this the next day.
Bill.
Yes, that's the last word. What's the first part of the day? You have blank.
Morning after pill.
There you go. King of the blank.
King of the road.
No, this is like a small mountain.
King of the hill.
Yeah, just say the word, not the king of.
Hill.
There you go. Fishing blank.
Time.
Damn it.
Sorry, man, Taylor. You were just one shy.
Oh, man.
Sorry, buddy. Have a good day.
Right, you do.
Congratulations, Matthew. You're going to see Jerry Cantrell on February 25th at Tulsa Theater. You get a $100 Moody's gift card, and you're up for the chance of winning a $1,000 Moody's gift card, which we will give away here in a little bit, okay?
Thank you.
Excellent job, sir. Hang on the line. All right, this is the one that Gimpy in.
Yeah.
Rod and. That's the only way that's the only one I've got.
That's what I was going with.
A movie runs
Projector.
off of this.
Film.
Yeah. Yeah. Rod and.
When you think something's really funny, you might go, man, his story had me blanking.
Yeah.
Laughing.
It's also how you watch videos on Facebook.
Okay.
Oh, that might be good. Instagram blank.
Yeah.
Better way to look at it.
Yeah, real was what that was.
Or you could say the opposite of fake.
Yeah.
Real. And then this is where Corbin got hung up.
Yeah, it's like an alpaca, but the other one.
Yeah.
I said emu.
Yeah.
That's
that was
ostrich, yeah.
Ostrich, yeah.
Yeah.
A llama.
Yeah.
Or the dolly.
Dolly. Yeah.
Ooh, that's good too.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter though. The record now.
Well, for the first time in a decade, Corbin is in the lead with 3, and I have 2, and Lindsay has 1.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll be back.
You're listening to the Big Mad Morning Show. This is Tulsa.
Whose is it? Now I know.
We listen and we don't judge. Lindsay's spray doesn't cover anything up. We listen and we don't judge.
Oh, okay. That's all I've got for the work edition. We listen and we don't judge. I try to become friends with my doctor's nurses, so instead of having to make a separate appointment for follow-up and results, I try to get it out of them so I don't have to pay the doctor's office for an additional appointment.
Huh?
For a test result or an MRI, I will try to make friends with the nurses so I can call them on the nurses line and say, hey, because you're supposed to make an appointment with the doctor to go back so they can charge you more money. And I will just ask for results from the nurse.
Oh, okay.
We listen
Oh.
and we don't judge.
So wait, what are we doing now? We're doing anything?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. it's hard sometimes to come in with umpteen bottles of liquor next to your desk and not have a drink first thing in the morning.
We listen and we don't judge. It's hard to not walk in there and drink some of the liquor when I do this show. We listen and we don't judge.
I have actually sat in my car and scream at the top of my lungs after it was over.
After what was over?
The show.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right. We listen and we don't judge.
I'm pass.
I sometimes scream when I have to come in for the show and sit in here with your stinky ass.
We listen and we don't
judge.
All right, play it. It's a TikTok trend. You can find them all over. Get something off your chest. Try We Listen and We Don't Judge for yourself.
This guy is the falconer for a soccer club, I think, in Italy. I think it's a soccer club. Anyway, he got fired because he shared images and videos of his penis on social media after undergoing implant surgery.
Oh.
Okay.
So it didn't have ill intentions. Possibly.
Say more.
Well, he's like, okay, here's my before and after. Like maybe he's saying
You're going with it was educational?
Right.
Sure.
Possibly, if that's
Sure.
his defense that
Sure.
he's going with. I don't know.
That's why anybody posts pictures of their penis on
Right.
on social media. Anyway, I went down a rabbit hole on how many do you think people get a year? What do you think the number of penis implant surgeries a year is? It's anywhere between 20 and 25,000 penile implant surgeries are performed each year. Each year. And you may go, oh, that's a lot. But in comparison, because I was like, well, how does that rank? It's actually quite rare. The 20 to 25,000 penile implant surgeries each year compared to over 300,000 breast augmentations.
Wow.
Yeah, that
annually.
makes sense, yeah.
Right? And comparing to other male procedures, because a penile implant is rarely considered plastic surgery. It's considered a medical necessity.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Right. But it is still less than male breast reduction surgery.
My moobies are getting in the way.
I can't take it anymore.
Doc, my moobs are hurting my back.
Yeah.
Can you help me?
And that's 30,000
Wow.
procedures annually. And that's called gynecomastia. I don't know. And then hair transplants, over 100,000 procedures annually.
Okay, that makes sense.
I wonder if male breast reduction is plastic surgery.
Isn't female breast reduction considered plastic surgery?
Yes.
So I don't see any reason why it would. But at the same time, I don't see a reason why a penis implant wouldn't be considered plastic surgery.
This says in severe cases, the excess breast tissue causes your breasts to sag and your areola to stretch. This is an elective cosmetic surgery procedure.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I was curious then about the cost of penile implant surgery. Not for me. I'm just. So I'm curious to how much it costs, how long does it take? The procedure takes about 1 to 2 hours, and it's performed under general or regional.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Most patients can return home the same day or after 24 hours. You can return to light activities within 1 to 2 weeks, heavy lifting after 6, and sexual activity after 6. The cost? Inflatable implants, $15,000 to $25,000.
Damn.
And malleable, also known as semi-rigid, $12,000 to $20,000. And insurance may cover part or all the cost if the procedure is deemed medically necessary because of ED or something like that. And some private insurers in the U.S. often cover penile implants, which is wild to me.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
You'll have pain and swelling,
Well, yeah.
some bruising, right? It's a traumatic event to have surgery anywhere on your body. The first 1 to 2 weeks, it says you will be in pain, but manageable. You'll have follow-up appointments. You'll have to have training.
Training? What kind of training? I have had it all my life. I know
Not
how
this
to
kind.
use
You
it.
had not the new model.
Right.
Not the Tesla. You got to learn how to use the inflatable implant, and you'll need guidance on how to use the pump. Usually during follow-up visits.
Is that like the old Reebok pumps, right? You pump it up, and then you have that little button on the side that,
Yeah,
deflates
and they
it.
sucked.
Yes.
Many times you would overinflate them.
Oh, yeah. Let's just see how big we can get this thing. Pow!
Common side effects are difficulty urinating,
Okay.
bruising, swelling, discomfort, potential risks. About 3% of cases, you get an infection. There are implant malfunctions because stuff breaks because we don't make good stuff in America anymore, apparently. Mechanical failure of inflatable implants can occur over time, requiring a revision surgery. Erosion or migration, apparently legally, rarely the implant may erode through the skin or shift position.
Excuse me, sir. Your implant is showing.
Do you have a side piece on your hip? No. Scarring and loss of sensation, uncommon but possible, especially in cases involving nerve damage. The success rate is high, 90% of men reporting satisfaction with the results.
Well, yeah, they got a bigger dong. Of course they're going to be happy.
I don't understand why it would be covered by insurance.
If it's a health thing, like he said, for erectile dysfunction.
I'm glad you asked. Primary candidates, men with severe ED, that's erectile dysfunction, due to conditions like diabetes, prostate cancer, surgery, Perion's disease, and spinal cord injuries. So think about men, let's use men who get some sort of traumatic injury where they're stuck in a wheelchair and anything below the waist don't work.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's where the pump would come into hand.
But
Definitely should be covered in that scenario.
Yes, but then a woman who has breasts her entire life and then gets breast cancer and has to have a mastectomy, it's not covered if she wants a breast repair to build up new breasts after losing them due to cancer. It's not covered. That's not fair.
Is it not? I don't know.
I don't know. Do you know that for sure?
I had a girlfriend who couldn't get
The old I had a girlfriend
Right,
story. I love
never-
that. I don't know. I don't disagree. If you have breast cancer and you have to have a mastectomy, then yeah, there should be something put back there. But if you want to get an upgraded model, that's on you.
Right, absolutely.
If you
I
want to go
agree.
back to an A, okay. But if you want to go to a double D, I don't know if maybe insurance should cover that. I don't know. I'm fine with insurance covering it, to be honest.
Just a quick Google search. It says breast augmentation surgery is usually not covered by insurance because it's considered elective cosmetic. However, insurance may cover it if it's part of a medically necessary procedure like breast reconstruction after a mastectomy.
Okay, so in certain cases,
Yeah.
it is covered.
But
That's
again,
good.
if you want to go from a B to a triple G, that ain't.
Right. I'm sure there's going to be a couple conversations.
And I know sometimes it's covered if you're getting a breast reduction due to back pain. Sometimes then insurance will cover it.
Yeah. I think it should be covered full stop.
I agree.
Even plastic surgery is 4x4.
Well, the governor says here that Trump remains committed to relocating Palestinians despite King of Jordan's objections. That's what Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters yesterday, the day after Trump met with King Abdullah II at the White House. Leavitt acknowledged that Abdullah and other Arab leaders opposed the plan to move Palestinians into neighboring countries while the U.S. takes control of the Gaza Strip. Leavitt said Trump nonetheless feels that relocating Palestinians is the better option, a plan that has received widespread global condemnation.
I saw a comment yesterday. It was like, one country's leader was like, we'll take the kids. Ew. Ew.
That doesn't seem right at all. What else we got here? NASA astronauts stuck in orbit to return to Earth soon. I've heard this story
Right.
before.
You don't say.
The goal is to find a way to bring astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams back to Earth as soon as March 12th. The date is several weeks earlier than the previously scheduled return time. SpaceX is expected to help with their return flight.
I was thinking just the mental state, the things that have to keep going while you're in space.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they're going to be 8 months.
Well, yeah. And they were supposed to only be up there for 2 weeks or a week or
Yes.
something
You
like
miss
that.
birthdays. You miss
Yeah.
Milestones and if you got
people
kids,
change
yeah.
in 8 months.
Right, right.
It's wild.
What else we got here? OHSU develops pancreatic cancer blood test.
This is insane. This is a massive story.
Yeah. A new blood test has been developed to detect pancreatic cancer with 85% accuracy. Early detection of pancreatic cancer is key to treating it. Current tests require large amounts of blood. This test uses less blood, takes 45 minutes to conduct, and costs less than a penny per sample. The research was done at OHSU Knight Cancer Institute's Cancer Early Detection Advanced Research Center.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. Isn't this basically what Elizabeth Holmes wanted to do?
No. She was saying she could do it for everything.
Okay.
This is specific to one thing.
Yeah. And only takes 45 minutes to find out.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's impressive.
Now, the thing is, will insurance cover the test?
Right.
It better.
No, it won't.
With 85% accuracy, I think it should.
But
For
should
sure. I know,
and is
I
are two
know.
totally different things, you know. Lastly here, a bill allowing Oklahoma to invest in Bitcoin clears its first legislative hurdle. The state of Oklahoma may soon be allowed to invest in the digital cryptocurrency Bitcoin and have its own stockpile. House Bill 1203 by Durant Republican Cody Maynard allows for the state's treasurer's office, and financial managers to invest in Bitcoin, both when it comes to state savings accounts and pension funds. The bill does have a state Senate sponsor who will carry it there if it makes it to the Senate.
What's his background? Is he a financial guy?
I have no idea.
Does he have Bitcoin that he wants to get the state to invest in because of the price? Interesting. See what Lindsay has for Balls to the Wall Sports.
Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs star tight end, is thinking about his future in football after their Super Bowl loss to the Eagles. At 35, he's feeling the physical toll of many seasons and playoff games. On his New Heights podcast with his brother Jason, Travis said he hasn't decided yet if he'll keep playing, but he knows he needs to make a choice before March 12th, when the new NFL year starts, and before his $11.5 million bonus is due on March 14th. If he retires, he might explore media projects or just spend more time with Taylor. But for now, he's taking his time to decide what's next for him.
I was thinking there was a video floating around of like 3 or 4 plays where he just didn't do anything. One of them, it shows the whole line is up and out of their stance and already moving, and he's still not moved. And he's supposed to block a guy that ends up getting by him and tackling Mahomes. And then there's another play where he's standing there, and Mahomes is scurrying. He's just standing there, and Mahomes is scurrying around, and his guy breaks off of him and goes and tackles Mahomes. He's not blocking. He's not doing anything. Another one where he's supposed to get up and he's supposed to pull and get over and block somebody. And not only, and Kelce isn't fast, but he's not slow either. And Kareem Hunt, very slow, not a fast running back, and runs into Kareem Hunt and then misses the block and kind of defunks the play. And you're like, what are you doing?
Is he just checked out?
I don't know. I at some point, and he doesn't have to, at some point, as I told my wife, these things will come. We're going to find out what was going on. I think Patrick Mahomes was injured because he was on the report for his ankle, but we didn't see him. He was on the report for the ankle from like weeks ago. Jay Glazer said that he was like healthiest you've ever been in a Super Bowl, and he's like, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Whoa, what does that mean? And then you got this. We didn't even see Kelsey on the sidelines, like bumping the coach, like yelling.
Right.
We didn't see any of that.
Telling you, it's those voodoo dolls, man.
So, right? The voodoo videos
It was in the script.
is amazing. Yeah, there was something going on that we weren't privy to yet. I think he's done. I think he's going to
I
retire.
think he is too. 35.
I would like to see him come back, but listen, man, if you've been playing a while,
You're healthy now.
Yeah.
You have numerous records. Just go out. 2 Super Bowls. Come on. Yeah. Ohio State football is reaching.
3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Ohio State football is reaching into the NFL ranks for its next assistant on head coach Ryan Day's staff. ESPN reported on Wednesday that the school is finalizing a deal to make Matt Patricia the new defensive coordinator. He'll replace Jim Knowles, who left for Penn State's open D.C. position following the Buckeyes' national title win over Notre Dame. Patricia spent 3 years as the Lions head coach starting in 2018, but got fired halfway through this final season after going 29-1. The 50-year-old was previously the Patriots defensive coordinator starting in 2012 and helped the team win a pair of Super Bowls. And that's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by the award-winning service of Groundworks Tulsa. It says in New York State, knives with blades longer than 4 inches are prohibited
There you go.
in New York City, but not in the rest of the state.
Okay, well, the Bronx is New York City.
Yeah.
So what does he hide it? What do you hide it in? A backpack?
He pulled it out of his coat.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
According to the reports, he reached into his coat and pulled out a knife. A knife.
Key West couple arrested for having sex on a public sidewalk. This happens last week at 4:20 in the morning on a Tuesday. Police were doing their patrol down there in Key West, and they saw a man and a woman in front of a pet grooming store. And, well, the woman was bent over in front of the man. The man being 41-year-old William Genot, and the woman being a 38-year-old gal named Diane Clausen. So cops roll up, and they see Diane bent over in front of old Willie here, and Willie was thrusting his hips back and forth. So I guess the cop sits there and watches for a little while because they continue going on about it until the cops turn their lights on. And then that's when they stop, and Willie put his Willie back in his pants, and then old Diane put her dress down. They ended up taking them both in for committing lascivious acts with another person in a public place. Now, apparently, old Willie just moved to Key West and is working for a yacht company, and Diane lives there, has been, and she is a facial specialist.
I mean, good for her and them. Mistakes were made.
Right. You just get so horned up, you're like, let's stop right here in front of the pet grooming place and
Right.
bang it out at 4:20 in the morning.
Well, I mean, you just don't question when love occurs. Would you rather fight a ninja or a pirate, and why?
I'm taking the pirate because more than likely they'll have me walk the plank and I can swim. So,
Just for the record, no one can swim in the ocean. Now, understand that means you might for a while.
mm-hmm.
It's going to be a long swim back to shore.
Yeah, but
Also, I think when you walk the plank, you're tied up for the most part.
in movies.
Okay, the plank is a movie thing.
Yeah.
Gimpy.
I'm fighting the ninja, or excuse me, the pirate for sure. Ninjas are fast.
Mm-hmm.
They're sneaky. All right, I feel like my chances of beating off a pirate are way better than beating off a ninja. Okay, if you look at the history, all right, at least, all right, let me rephrase that. If you look at the TV and movie history of ninjas and pirates, right? Ninjas are very nimble. They jump. They're next thing you know, they're up on the rafters, and then they're jumping down and attacking you from the sky. They got ninja stars that they throw at you. Not to mention their big swords and nunchucks and stuff like that. Okay. So with the pirates, I mean, you're gonna have to fight a one-legged pirate. Sometimes even a one-eyed pirate. Sometimes even a one-handed pirate because the other hand is a hook. Okay. So as nasty as pirates can be, because you look at them, at least through TV and movie history, they're gnarly people. Like, just, they got the scurvy, and they're just dirty. Yeah, I feel if I might get tetanus or something. But the ninjas, I think, are just way smarter, way faster, way more nimble, and can cause way more damage. I feel like I got better chances against a pirate than I do a ninja.
I mean, a ninja, a shinobi, they're highly trained in taijutsu. They are lethal individuals.
Mm-hmm.
A water cowboy. Which one are we talking about? A water cowboy? Are we talking about I am the captain now? Are we talking butt? Like, what kind are we talking here?
I think we have to go with the traditional sense.
Water cowboy.
Yes. Not I am the captain now, because, I mean, those...
Or butt.
Or butt. There are real pirates out there.
Right,
and
which I am the captain now.
Yeah, and they have AKs and guns and stuff like that. You don't see or hear a line. Maybe that's the
They
thing
don't have
about
planks
ninjas.
either.
Yeah.
Or cannons.
Right. Ninjas, you don't
Hand
really...
cannons.
Hooks for hands?
They have hand cannons.
Mm-hmm.
They have hooks to climb up on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
But,
you don't hear much from modern time about ninjas.
well, that's secretive, stealthy. So I would rather fight the water cowboy. I mean, tenacious, yes. Gritty, yes. Traditionally, cowboys, when they searched for people to go on a boat for a mission, if you will, they found anybody they could take, and no one wanted to really do it, even though back in those days it was considered to be like coveted.
Right.
Because they all kept journals. And they would come back and then sell their journal for money. But they weren't great individuals.
Nope.
They were really backstabbing, drunks a lot of the time, weren't of prime health.
Right.
Like-
Got the rickets.
Tenacious? Yes. Gritty? Yes. The guy you'd want to be around if you're, trying to stay afloat and putting a mast up in the rain? Yes. Climbing up the pole to keep watt? Yes.
Crow's nest.
But I've got to pick one of these two. I'm taking the water cowboy.
Yeah.
Because all I got to do is, push him down,
Yeah.
Right.
offer him a drink, and then blindside him.
You guys could be buddies after that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Feels like my odds would be higher compared to the guy who knows how to be seen and then not seen.
Yeah.
Right.
And the guy who knows how to, put me to sleep in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who, unbeknownst to me, is throwing a star.
Even fat-ass Chris Farley in Beverly Hills Ninja had some skills as a ninja.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Even Panda from
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda, he was a ninja.
Right.
And he was badass.
Mm-hmm.
The praying mantis, badass.
Right.
So, ninja, no thank you. Water cowboy, yes. I'm taking that for sure. It's a fun question.
Yeah.
You think about those. I mean, there's talk that pirates, in the sense that you know them from movies, didn't exist. That's not the way it was. Same with ninjas.
Right.
That it didn't. That there's question whether ninjas really even existed. The folklore is there, but were they actual people?
Right. Weren't they supposed to be like assassins or whatever? Hired assassins? Mercenaries.
Mercenaries,
is the word
yeah.
I'm looking for.
Which are not people that follow the rules.
Even more reason to stay away from
Usually, mercenaries don't have a code of ethics.
Yeah.
Because then suddenly you're not a mercenary. No, but he's he's a nice one. Then we got to give him a different title.
Right. Billy the Nice Mercenary.
You just can't say mercenary.
Right.
Mercenary has no sympathy, right? They're only out for one thing. I got some standards. I'll join your militia,
Right.
but I have some rules.
Pig bites officer's hand during hoof pursuit. This happened right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Tulsa Police Department said on Facebook, contrary to what the title implies, this was not police officers chasing other police officers. On February 1st, around 12:20 a.m., Officers were called out to a hazard in the roadway near the 9700 block on East 31st Street. When officers arrived, they found a large pig in the street. Officers attempted to detain the swine. However, the pig was less than compliant and would not obey commands. As is often the case, food is a strong motivator for compliance. Unfortunately, no one had any donuts in their car, but an officer did have a box of crackers to coerce the pig into cooperating. The overzealous porker took a nibble on the officer.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and what you want to say to 82945. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. Jay Leno and Arsenio Hall are coming to the Cove at River Spirit Casino on Saturday, March 15th. If you want to check them out, you can win tickets. Just go to the website, that rocks, KMOD.com.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Good morning, Corby. You got your first keyword to rock the bank. That keyword is bonus. Take that keyword over to the website that rocks, or you could use the iHeartRadio app, plug it in, and score yourself $1,000. It's that easy.
All right, Conspiracy Theory Thursday. In the news, I think it was like a week ago, maybe longer, they mentioned an asteroid was going to hit Earth. There was a 1% chance that it was going to hit the Earth. And then not even 10 days later, it doubles.
Uh-oh.
Now, they're saying this isn't going to happen until 2032, and also that's only 2%. But the fact that they were like, oh, wait, hold on, we got to double this number, sent me down a rabbit hole. So let's talk about the asteroid that's going to hit Earth in 2032. It's been 65 million years since the majority of the species on the planet were wiped out by an asteroid that is of any notable size, because things do hit the Earth. It happens quite often, believe it or not. And something like several times per year, rock fragments hit the Earth's surface. Tiny dust-sized meteoroids, 100 to 300 tons per day, burn up in the atmosphere. Few year small asteroids hit the Earth, about 1 to 5 meters wide, right? So it does happen. And in 2022, NASA used the Double Asteroid Redirection Test mission that changed the direction of a 175-meter wide asteroid, knocking it off of its original path after the spacecraft was crashed into it. And so it's unclear if they're going to use it this time, but this near-Earth asteroid that is the length of a football field says as a 2.2 chance of crashing down to the surface on December 22nd of 2032.
Oh, Merry
Whoa.
Christmas.
Yeah, with our luck, it probably will hit.
Given the success of the DART mission, though, they think there's a good chance they will use this to deflect it. Now, I went down a rabbit hole of asteroids that have hit Earth, and the Verder crater 2 billion years ago was 160 to 300 kilometers wide.
Wow.
It's the largest confirmed impact crater on Earth. Over time, erosion has worn it down. But you can look at this. There's plenty of pictures of it. The Sudbury Basin in Canada, 1.85 billion years old. It was only 10 kilometers wide. It's one of the oldest and best preserved impact structures. Now a major mining area. Again, that's in Canada. Then there's the Papagai crater in Russia. That's one of the younger ones, 35 million years ago. It was only about 8 kilometers wide, so about that's about 5 miles wide,
Okay.
if my math conversion's close. The impact turned graphite into diamonds, making it one of the richest diamond deposits on Earth.
Wow.
Right. It's not always bad news, man.
No, right.
Right.
Too bad it's in Russia.
The Manicouagan crater in Canada is 215 million years old. It's about 3 miles wide, known as the Eye of Quebec. It's one of the best preserved craters and now forms a lake. Kara crater in Russia is 70 million years old. It's also about 3 miles wide. They think it's linked to the mass extinction at the end of the Cretaceous period. I didn't know this one even existed. Of all the times we studied like the extinction of the dinosaurs growing up and stuff and things like that, no one ever talked about the Chesapeake Bay crater.
Okay.
Have you guys ever heard of this?
No.
35 million years ago, about 3 to 5 kilometers wide. It's an underwater impact that helped shape the modern Chesapeake Bay area. And then there's the one that ended it for the dinosaurs. And that is the Chicxulub crater down in Mexico off the Yucatan Peninsula, 66 million years ago. It's about 50, they think it was about 50 miles wide.
Okay, that's a big bitch.
Yeah. And the impact caused the mass extinction of the dinosaurs. It's buried under the Yucatan Peninsula. And its impact was equivalent to 10 billion Hiroshima bombs.
Wow.
For those that need to be reminded, the difference between a million and a billion. A million seconds is like 3 or 4 days, if I'm not mistaken. And a billion seconds is like 12 years. So dramatic difference. And there was immediate firestorms, shock waves, tsunamis, a nuclear winter where dust and debris blocked the sun for years. I didn't know this either. 70% of life on Earth went extinct, including most of the dinosaurs. Now, the crater is buried under land and water, but they have been doing testing, and they have boreholes, and they have tested it to prove that it was one. But I didn't realize, I thought all of life went extinct.
Which is most of it.
And how do they know only 75%?
Right. Well, yeah, they had a census taker there.
Right? You would think. So the idea of to me, let's pay attention, because it has happened, and it sounds like we are due a million years ago. And I don't even know what I would do. I don't know what you would do if they were like, here's where it's going to hit. You going to try and leave? When do you leave? Where do you go? So let's just say it's going to hit in somewhere that would affect here.
Right.
And it's going to hit on, we'll just pick a day, December 1st. When do you leave? They're like, there will be no sun here. You need to move on.
Right.
When do you go?
I think at the beginning of November. I think it's good. I think it's a good time. 30 days ahead. Get you time to get over one way or the other, north, south, east, west.
Where? Where do you go?
Well, if it's going to hit here, let's just say Tulsa is the bullseye, right? Hey, go to the West Coast. Go to California. Go to the East Coast. Go to Virginia. You know, far enough away, you're not in the impact zone, and you're not going to be affected by the nuclear winter that it could possibly cause.
I hear you. It's easy to go, you should be safe if you go to the West Coast. You're not the only one.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why you got to hurry up and get the hell out of
And
it.
I would say,
but hold
sooner
on.
the better.
Yeah, November.
Exactly.
It feels like you're late to the party at that point.
Yeah, maybe.
Go somewhere, get established.
I got to be
Sooner the
honest.
better.
If they were like, you need to leave, it would be, you can't sell your house.
Yeah, nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah.
It's in the way of a meteor.
What about your job?
Well, buy.
Right. No, I hear you. But then what? Because if you survive, you think all those companies don't exist anymore? You think what do you do about your house?
Right.
And then you got to try and get there. And then you get to, let's just say, Bob Smith, California. Then what? Because all these people are migrating. All these people are getting away.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for sure.
I don't know if easy is even the right word.
So what are you saying? You just sit here and take it?
I don't know.
I figure you at least have to try, put in some kind of effort.
That's fair.
You know?
That's fair.
As opposed to just rolling over and, well, I don't let this meteorite just take me out. It'll be okay.
But if you've got how many people that live in the Midwest? 50 million?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all trying to go west or east? There ain't going to be nothing available. It's going to be chaos.
Right.
What I'm getting at is it don't matter what it is. There is no great plan. If the zombie apocalypse happens and you got your go bag, good for you. Just because you have a key that can turn on a water spigot at the public school,
Right.
so what? It's going to be anarchy. So I kind of go with the idea of, I think maybe, because how are they going to get the spot exact?
Right.
They can't even tell me if we're getting 3 to 5 inches on Tuesday.
Right.
She is. But maybe I take my chances. Because either way, if I go there, it's going to be anarchy. It's going to be the Wild West.
Yeah. And you better come out on top.
You go to some.
But that's that. What does that mean?
Well, you got to fight for your survival, is what that means.
So
You
kill
don't have to
people?
do that.
If you've got to.
I'm not.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I would rather not kill people.
You go to some oil rigs and talk to those guys and hire them to be astronauts so they can go up and kill the asteroid before it comes and hits us, like an Armageddon.
That's still hit.
Right.
Well, deep impacted.
Deep impact is still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
deep impacted still
Yeah.
hit. Yeah. And the technology has got to be bigger.
Right.
Use space lasers.
And that's the most absurd thing ever. That would never, ever. It's a silly thought. It's a stupid movie. Yeah, it's a good movie, but it's
Good movie.
it's better than Sunset Squatch.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm just saying that I don't think that is a foolproof plan. I don't know if that is a better plan than just staying
Right.
and surviving.
Maybe, possibly, but again, you got to try.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is try here
Okay.
where you have all your stuff.
Maybe.
Because what are you going to, even if you Beverly Hillbillies it and tie to the rocking chair to the roof, like, you ain't going to be able to have it. You got to figure everything out.
Right,
Where here,
absolutely.
you know where everything is. You know the pitfalls.
Right. But you also know they said, hey, Tulsa, Oklahoma is the target zone for this asteroid. I'm not sticking around. Take my chances. There's a chance it might not hit.
Statistically, your chance of survival here is what compared to chance of survival in Bob Smith, California?
I think your chances
with everybody who has the attitude of I've got to come on top and treats every incident or interaction with another human as this is the moment of survival.
Right.
Yeah, I'd rather take my chances doing that than just sitting here and waiting for an asteroid to flatten me.
Someone said, I don't know about the West Coast. I'd imagine an asteroid strike would trigger the volcano under Yellowstone.
It's possible. We don't know that, though.
Yeah, Gippy, you got to head to the mountains with a dirt bike and a girl on your back. Yeah. Yeah, he was. They were so reckless with that baby. On the back of that motorcycle. I'm moving my ass to Australia on the other side of the planet. How?
It's going to be a long swim.
You ain't taking your boat.
Mm-hmm.
Asteroid to hit U.S. Mexico. Mexico builds border wall to hold off the stampede. I mean, yeah. But even then, suddenly our immigration laws will feel a little different, won't they?
Right.
No, help us out. I'm just saying, to me, pay attention to all of them. They're worth noting. 2032, man. Like, I'm going to be sitting near 60. Like, I have no interest in packing up and going. It is what it is. I feel like the unknown is equal here compared to going to somewhere else.
Right.
All right.
The chance of survival is not guaranteed. What is it, 1843? And they're trying to get west. The Yellowstone spinoff.
1883.
1883. And they're trying to get west. And everybody's got good intentions. Everybody wants to. But there's this thing called sickness. There's this thing called bandits.
Right.
No guarantee, man, even if you want it. Even if you want to be on top.
Right, and you get the same thing here.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'd rather have that. At least I know the terrain. I know where things are.
There's no sense of adventure there.
I think it is. I think that counts as an adventure.
I'm waiting to die. That doesn't sound like fun.
I just stay because moving sucks.
No, you're not taking everything. You take some clothes. Yeah. That's about all you need.
You got a tornado shelter?
So
Let's
what?
really put that thing to work.
Save you from tornadoes, but will it save you from meteorites?
Yeah, see how strong it really is.
I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole of tornado shelters if you'd like. They always show a tornado that hits a town and it's level and all you see is foundations. How many tornado shelters do you see?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But it makes you feel better.
And I think that's what happens if you just decide to move west. It makes you feel better. You think you're controlling something. But I don't think so. I would get contracting business going. Bob's Asteroid Disaster Relief. We'd be raking it in. But yeah, but so would everyone else.
All right.
So would everyone else. They'd all be coming up with some idea of rebuilding. My wife and I were preppers for many, many years. We finally sat down one day and thought to ourselves, do we really even want to live in a post-Armageddon like that? Despite the fact that I have mini guns and mini weapons. Mini weapons?
I think that's what he meant.
Like not the mouse, right?
Right, like Manny. That's voice detect right there, you can tell.
There's always somebody that has more and can always take you out from a distance, and you not even know it was coming. There's no preparation for them. Yeah. Just because you have a bucket of chow and a solar panel. Okay, so what? I was looking, somebody had showing their prepper and they had a solar panel thing. They were asking a CIA person what's in his go bag. And he said cash and charging cables, of which I went, huh?
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
Cash, you're just hoping somebody else thinks cash is still a viable product.
Right.
Charging cable, that means you think there'll be electricity and you think cell towers are still going to work.
But yeah, you gotta watch Netflix somehow.
Got to update my location. Let everybody know I'm safe on Facebook. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Big Mad Morning Show.
Weird to me anyway. So I think that just kind of ruined it all.
You would never have a chocolate-covered tomato in the first place. So why would you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, there's a mole, and a mole has chocolate.
Right, the mole sauce. Yeah. I think I've only had that one time, and I was like, okay, whatever.
So the last one here is ice cream. I love ice cream.
And elote?
No. God, that would have been amazing. It's ice cream and tuna fish.
and that's on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
No, it's just him screwing with us is what it is.
No. Like I just sat there and came up with ideas of things.
Oh, God.
My cat would love this.
No kidding. Interesting. That's kind of new for cats to like tuna.
Can I
And they
feed
love
you
dairy.
kitties?
So I had to use my own fork, so you're going to do your own.
Yes.
So
Yes, do your own tuna, Lindsay.
Because I don't want to make it gross.
Right.
Dumb.
All right, then. I mean, all right. So I'm going to. It doesn't seem right, man.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's ice cream and tuna fish. And this one was a lot of people, like their face got very lit up when they, he got some, when they ate it. So it's creamy. So I imagine there's some sort of comparison of like a sour cream or mayonnaise or something to that effect.
Okay.
But it's sweet, so I don't know how that's going to taste.
Isn't that the old pregnancy craving tuna fish and ice cream or ice cream and pickles?
Ice cream
like-
and pickles.
Yeah.
So that'd be sweet and salty, though.
Yeah.
But before we move on, we got to make sure we do the rating for the Kit Kat and ketchup. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Would not recommend.
I give it a
0.
Yeah.
Well, wait your turn.
Yeah, 0 out of 10. Would not recommend at all whatsoever.
Okay.
0, absolutely.
But if I
It's
had to give it a
awful.
number, but that's not a 0, it would be 1. The lowest I can go.
All right. So vanilla ice cream, high quality, Winco ice cream, and tuna fish.
Okay. I'm a little more apt to try this as opposed to the Kit Kat and ketchup, just because I do like the ice cream. So I don't know how you guys are doing yours. I got a wad of ice cream and a chunk of tuna.
Yeah.
And I'm just stacking them, and I'm gonna shove it in my mouth at the same time. I don't know how you guys did it.
Yeah, I just got some and went ahead and took a bite.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can't smell it. I mean, because the tuna's going to overpower anything. So that's all you're going to really smell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Gimpy is making a very interested face. Lindsay also is very not put off by it initially. What do you think, Lindsay?
You said this was going to get worse. It was going to get worse.
Are you high on something?
To me,
Pause.
it tastes...
Pause. I said it was going to get worse as the progression of the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't guaranteeing it was going to taste worse.
Right.
Tuna fish and ice cream does not sound ideal.
No, it doesn't.
There we go. Okay. So I was correct in that statement.
Sure. But for me, this is... It's like regular tuna without the relish. When I would make a tuna sandwich, I add
Do you
relish to
put
my
a
mayo.
lot of sugar in your tuna?
Mayonnaise
I
is
don't.
kind of
But
sweet.
mayo is sweet.
Yeah, but not vanilla ice cream sweet.
Agreed.
You know, I think it's more tangy than it is sweet when I eat the mayonnaise. You know, like Miracle Whip salad dressing. Now that's sweet. I'll give you that. That's got that sweet taste to it, you know. But like the Dukes or the Hellmann's or whatever, it's real tangy more so. At least in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. What did you think, Gippy, as you ate it?
So I stacked mine. I had the ice cream on the bottom, and then like a fillet of tuna on top, or whatever, just a chunk of tuna on top. So when I put it in my mouth, the ice cream rested on my tongue first, and that's where my taste buds got the first flavor. I was like, all right, I taste vanilla ice cream. But then as we started chewing, that's when the texture hit, and I was like, okay, that's a little weird. But that's when the tuna flavor kicked in. And that's when I was like, no way, that is not a good combination. So I'm out.
I mixed mine together, so it was all kind of incorporated. I took a bite. I thought it was fine, and then the texture or the grittiness of tuna, graininess of tuna kicked in, and that's when I was like, ew, that's not good.
Do you think I'd be better off mixing the two as opposed to stacking it?
Sure. To me, it was the second act that I was like, well, that's a weird texture.
Yeah.
And then if you smell it, then for sure it's not going to be ideal because
I'll give you
fish smelling fish, or fish and ice cream are not two smells that I enjoy.
I'm trying to get just a little chunk out of here because I'll mix it up. I'll give it another go. I mean, just to see. I think the texture is one thing that for sure is going to get me on this. So I got a little dollop of the ice cream over here, and then we're just going to mix this up with the old tuner. Come on, break it up, break it up, break it up. All right. So now I have fully engulfed my tuna in ice cream. All right. Let's see how this works out then.
We should expect it to be a little bit better.
I'm hoping so because they were stacked. And that was, I don't know, made me snort that way. They were stacked, and I felt like I got two different experiences, and then they both combined. So with this combined already, huh? Not as bad. It's still not good, though.
So, ranking, Lindsay.
I will give this one a 4 out of 10.
Oh, that feels pretty low for
Really?
you were making it sound pretty good.
I mean, not pretty good, but I will rank it the highest. I wouldn't order this, but apparently people do order this in New Orleans, Italy, and Mexico.
Did you do that on some quick research all of a
Yeah,
sudden?
she did.
I did.
I've been to Mexico. I've been to Italy. Never seen this on a menu. Doesn't mean they don't do it there.
It's a street food.
I don't believe that. It may be sold on the street because it's what's in the floor.
Right. I was going to say, was it found in the
So
streets?
4 out of 10, would you recommend or not recommend?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. Gimpy?
1 out of 10, don't recommend. But I'm going with something better. I'm mixing your watermelon and ice cream.
I'm going 2 out of 10 for me again and would not recommend. And the idea of
us doing this is so you don't have to. If you have a TikTok you want us to try, you got to send us a TikTok, and it can't be one you do.
Right. Right.
It can't be one you do. If you see something on TikTok, you're like, this, you guys should try this. We'll do it when we do TikTok-oo. TikTok-oo. This one says, I've been going to my doctor with this chronic stomach problem. I told him what I found online. He told me that Googling medical conditions isn't ideal, and he said that we can manage my discomfort with just medicine or other items, and that it can't be fixed. But what I found online is solutions that are not typically medical solutions. He's just discounting them because they aren't connected to big pharma. Do I go with what I found online and that people have said work for them, or do I listen to the doctor? He just wants me to eat better, drink less, get better sleep, and take this medicine. It feels like he's just discounting what I'm dealing with. People that deal with chronic problems, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks because it can make you crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But if you go down the rabbit hole of what Google has to say as well, that can drive you even crazier. Don't look and find a mole on your body and then Google suspicious mole. You know what I mean? It's just
Yes.
it's nothing but bad news.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we like to joke that when there's something wrong with you, you have testicular cancer, whether you're a guy or girl, because it always feels like that's one of the possible outcomes
Right.
as the symptoms. Can we make the statement, is this statement now accurate? If you find it online, the percentage of it being inaccurate is now high.
I would say
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Because honestly, I don't know who put that there. I don't know who put that information on the computer, on the internet.
It's Wikipedia or IMDb now. The whole internet feels that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust anybody on the internet for anything.
Right.
No, even yesterday, I saw a reel of a guy that was watching a video of a person put Colgate toothpaste on an egg. Okay.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. This one for Conspiracy Theory Thursday. It's one of my favorite things to find stuff on, and it is a clear photo of a UFO.
Wow.
All right.
My complaint is that it's sad that UFOs have not come out with new models since the 60s. I'll let you look for yourself. I sent you the video. Apparently, these tourists were in Argentina, and they captured a UFO over the Beagle Canal in Argentina.
Well, okay.
It was captured in photos as the tourists were viewing the landscape while on their way to visit a colony of penguins. At the time, no one on board noticed it, but when reviewing the photographs following the trip, one of them noticed a metal saucer-like object appearing to hover over the water. Local report states the reflections of light seen on the UFO in the photos suggest that the UFO is not a photographic defect or an optical phenomenon. Quote, the images show a mysterious object in different positions horizontally and slightly tilted to the right. Its tanned color and similar shape to a bell shed sparked speculation about its origin, although it's difficult to determine its exact dimensions due to the lack of visual references in the photo. The photos caused astonishment among tourists and sparked heated discussions on social media. Another newspaper says experts in aerial technology are currently analyzing the photographs for any signs of tampering or artifacts that may indicate the object is a drone or reflection. The use of software to access the metadata in the images to determine whether the conditions, what they were during the capture. What do you guys think? I sent it to you. You can see it?
Yeah, my first thought was maybe it's a drone. You know? Because you can make those in any shape or size.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, and if you zoom in a lot, well, it's going to look big. But you're right, they have not changed styles in decades. But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it's video of it, where's the actual video?
Right, these are still images that we're looking at.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why we can't see why would you not provide all of it?
Right.
Exactly. Because it's all made up. It's their drone.
People just don't like the idea of a logical answer. They don't like the idea that maybe you took a photo at the exact time someone was throwing something.
Right.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Now, Argentina is beautiful. So I wouldn't blame aliens if they wanted to
Take a little
go to
holiday.
Argentina. I mean, you just got to Google Argentina, hit images, and you will see how ridiculously beautiful the country is.
They're hanging out at the lake. Take a little splash time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like it's flying closer and closer to the water. Maybe it's going down and it about to crash, maybe.
Or they live at the bottom of the lake and they're just trying to get
Oh,
home.
yeah, possibly.
I mean, when you're landing a plane on a grass runway, you leave the nose up as long as possible to not dig the nose into the ground. So I could see them because they're landing on water. They're just trying to do a soft landing.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I mean, I'm no expert in flying, much less UFO flying. But I would think that, that would be the explanation.
And it seems like if I were the one capturing photos of this, seeing this, I would have a lot more than 3 still photos to share.
Yeah.
I would be nonstop taking every single. That's why I feel like it's probably fake.
It's photoshopped.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I agree 100% because to me, as Lindsay said, they would have taken more photos. They said they didn't know till after the fact. You didn't notice that looking? You didn't notice. Are you holding the button down and taking a gazillion photos?
Right. And that's the only thing in your photo.
Who doesn't look at their photos
Exactly.
when they're taking them?
Right.
Are you telling me you have an old 110
Right.
that your mom gave you? I don't believe it. I don't believe that is what you would be using
Right.
to take photos on this once-in-a-lifetime trip to Argentina to go look at penguins with their lovers for life.
That's right. And you don't know anymore nowadays what's AI generated, what's fake, what's not. Like, you just just Google photos of UFOs, right? They're all fake. Every last one of them.
Absolutely, just like the Bigfoot ones. I think there's a famous alien story in Argentina from years ago. I think you're right. Also, in Egypt, in America, in Oklahoma, it's.
Right.
I think it's folklore.
Yeah.
It's all tall tales. Probably used at some point to get kids to go to bed. You go to bed. I heard there was an alien ship landed over in the lake.
Right.
It wouldn't. The number of things we have that are designed to scare kids to get parental compliance. It wouldn't
True.
surprise me if that's the origin.
For sure.
And then it just kind of, snowballed from there.
Got out of control.
Yeah.
They couldn't wrangle it back in. That's why you should just beat your kids to compliance.
It's like telling your kids, don't swim before eating.
Right.
Because parents get annoyed with having to take their kids out to swim in the pool. No, you got to take a break. You got to wait. Dad wants to smoke a cigarette. I don't want to have to watch you and not let you drown. So you just have to sit on the edge of the pool while your food digests.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And hey, you can't go outside without your coat, or your hair wet because I don't want to have to take you outside. That was the real reason.
But you'll catch your death that way, man.
Sure.
Come on. You don't know that.
Sure. I don't know how the cavemen did it, but
Yeah.
Right.
plenty of debate events that.
30 minutes later was actually the time it was to go home from the pool. So you couldn't actually go back in.
Right. Oh, now time to go. What are we going to do?
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
Tulsa's Morning Show continues next. The Big Mad Morning Show.
Messed you up. But we don't have time. According to Kurt Cobain, heroin helps with stomach pain. Yeah. There are a lot of chronic issues that have no cure, hence the term chronic. You just have to learn to live with it. Don't take medicine if you don't want to. Get a second opinion. But I don't think you can discredit that we should all eat better, drink less, and get good sleep.
Right. That's good advice.
Another one. After COVID, not all doctors can be trusted. You always have the right to get a second opinion from another doctor.
Yeah, you do, actually.
You're right.
And if that doctor says the same thing the first doctor said, then, well, you got your answer.
Or you can get a third opinion.
Yeah, or you can just run the gamut and go through every goddamn doctor in the phone book until you finally get the answer that you're looking for.
Right.
And then you're dead.
Right. To me, going to the doctor is a reactionary thing. Mm-hmm. You don't go to most people, I'll go 90%, maybe even higher, don't go to the doctor to be proactive.
No. Something hurts or doesn't feel good. That's why you go to the doctor. That's why they're there. Fix me. I'm sick.
And they're chasing, they're symptom chasers, right? So,
okay. And
I don't mean that in a negative way. Mm-hmm. They can only diagnose based off what you're saying.
Right.
Yes.
And there are certain diseases, illnesses, sicknesses, things you're dealing with that are only based off what you say.
Right.
There's no test for it. Schizophrenia comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. And not
gluten disorders.
Yeah, not everybody's honest with their doctors.
Yes.
Because of shame, embarrassment, whatever.
Right.
You can be tested for gluten disorder if you have celiac disease.
To know if you have, I'm trying to remember. I don't believe it's all based off symptoms. They go, don't eat if that. It's like my grandmother used to say. I'm like, it hurts when I do this, and she would go, well, then don't do that.
Right.
If it hurts when you eat bread, don't eat bread. But I could be. Maybe I'm wrong. I swear they're celiac. Maybe not celiac. Gluten. Mm-hmm. When you have a gluten allergy, there's no test for a gluten allergy. Celiac disease is different to a degree. Certain things. A lot of people are self-diagnosed with. They self-diagnose that way and say, I'm allergic to this, or I have ADHD.
Right.
Or my kid has autism, and they've taken the information from an administrator at school, or they've never had a test done.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm bipolar. No, you're just a cranky bitch.
Yeah, yes. A lot of autoimmune diseases there's no test for, and they just go off symptom information. Mm-hmm. And so that's on you. And I always I hate going to the doctor and try to tell them what's wrong because I'm like, well, it hurts, but when I do this and then I'm like, am I telling them all the right stuff?
Right.
Do I guess you got to keep it. I'm getting off on a tangent here, but this guy never heard of a second opinion. That's another text that came in. Let's read this email that came in. And it says that, I have been going to my doctor with this chronic stomach problem. I told him what I found online, and he told me that Googling medical conditions isn't ideal. And he said that we can manage my discomfort with just medicine and that it can't be fixed. But what I found online is solutions that are not typical medical solutions. He's just discounting them because they aren't connected to Big Pharma. Do I go with what I found and people have said work for them, or do I listen to the doctor? He just wants me to eat better, drink less, and get better sleep. It feels like he's just discounting what I'm dealing with. Lindsay.
Get a second opinion if you'd like. It's your life, bro. But it's not bad advice. I mean, everyone can benefit from eating better, drinking less, and sleeping more. Really, that is great advice from your doctor. But if you don't like what they are saying, get a second opinion. Again, it is your life. Live it the way you want to.
Gimpy.
As a guy who doesn't go to the doctor that often, it may shock you to hear me say, yes, listen to your goddamn doctor. Come on, man. Listening to the internet is nothing but bad news, no matter what the situation may be. I mean, short of, how to rebuild a carburetor from some guy that, posted a video on YouTube, I think listening to anything on the internet is just bad, bad, bad news because you don't know who's being a troll just to be a troll. Right? Believe it or not, there are people out there that are like that.
Even the people that do like carburetor rebuilding, as you're talking about, and they always learn from their dad, you don't need that screw, don't worry about it.
Right. Even yes, absolutely.
They don't just because it works for them.
Right. So I think you should listen to your doctor, all right? I think that if you don't trust the doctor you're going to, maybe go see another doctor. But definitely, again, they paid tens of thousands of dollars to go to school for almost a decade to be able to tell you this is what's going on, and this is how you should fix it, treat it, whatever. So go to the doctor.
I don't know when we crossed over into certainties. You can try the doctor's solution and pivot to something else.
Right.
It isn't try the doctor's solution and then that's that.
Huh.
It's worth trying. To Gimpy and Lindsay's point, they did go to school longer than you did on it. So why not hear what they have to say and maybe give it a chance? What if it works? Then you've done all the stress and anxiety and Googling and stress and all that for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, second opinions. I got to list some really bad dads. John Phillips. Do you know who John Phillips is?
Our old boss?
No. Nobody would know that that's his name. Of Mamas and Papas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The
Wilson
musical
Phillips,
group.
Mackenzie Phillips,
Yeah.
China Phillips, that whole bloodline.
Uh-huh.
For those who don't know, he was not a good human being. He was a massive druggie. And I don't know this, but he wrote Kokomo. The Beach Boys song Kokomo.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Anyway, back to him being an asshole. Mackenzie Phillips in 2009 revealed that her father injected her with cocaine at the age of 11 and then began a sexual relationship with her.
What a scumbag.
Can't do that, bro.
Woody Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What a work of art that guy is, huh?
He romanced and married his stepdaughter.
Well, to be fair.
I mean, his adopted daughter, right?
There was no blood there.
Right.
It's a stepdaughter.
It's still
Stepdaughter
the
isn't
fact.
blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I said. There's no blood there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying that he's wrong, but I'm not saying that he's right either.
You're not saying he's wrong.
I'm just saying. It is wrong.
Okay, thank
Totally
you.
wrong.
Soon you be Praven.
Yeah.
No, that's her name.
Oh, yeah?
Uh,
Papa Woody.
Johnny Eric Marlowe.
Who dat?
He fathered 14 kids with multiple women. He was convicted of numerous episodes of child neglect. He was from North Carolina, a polygamist. Not that any of that matters. He apparently circumcised 2 of his sons with a utility knife when
What?
they were 8.
What? Like one you would use to cut carpet with?
I believe that's a utility knife.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, I couldn't find a scalpel.
I don't know why you're not focusing on 8. They were 8.
God.
I don't care if he used a medical device. They were 8.
He did it himself. There's so much wrong going on there.
Goodness.
Michael Jackson. Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Joe Jackson. Okay, maybe Gimpy's not aware. He was the father of Michael Jackson and Tito and all the others.
Beat the holy hell out of all of them, right?
Yeah, he was known for being a sadist and a hard-assed. He subjected children to nonstop rehearsals, would beat them with his belt, and humiliate them to the degree of one time even pushing them into walls or on the floor to prove he was the head of the family.
It's at my house.
He also cheated on his wife with 2 separate women and fathered a pair of kids out of wedlock.
Okay.
Michael Jackson. Proving a little fellow follows. He dangled his infant child over a 5th floor window.
Beat it.
And he also kept his kids masked while in public and gave them bizarre names like Blanket. I mean, to be honest, that's not the worst thing he did.
I don't think so either.
morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. I just came across this hilarious story about the sweet spot for reviews to know if you're eating at a good Asian food restaurant.
Oh.
All right.
Because you go to a review and you go, oh, it's got 5 stars. It's good, right? Mike from Annalisa said 4.5 is the spot because you can't please everybody. Okay. This guy says for Asian food restaurants, it's 3.5 stars. And he gave some examples. So, like, he gave P.F. Chang's, which some people like, but in true, authentic Asian food, Paul Fleming isn't known for his Asian food, right? Like, even though P.F. Chang's is good, I like it. It works. It's pretty white, right? Now, he then gave a Michelin star, showed a Michelin star one, and showed the stars he had, and he's like, there's no way Asian food is this good.
Okay.
Right? And he goes, you know you're eating at an authentic Asian restaurant when it has 3.5 stars because waiting tables or waiter service in Asia is much different. That's not like American waiting tables. They won't pay attention to you. Like they stay very true to the culture.
Okay.
You have to ask for help. You have to tell them when you're ready. Like there's all these extra. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. That makes sense, I guess. And if it's 3.5, that means the reviews are all going to be like, hey, the service was bad, but the food was great.
Okay.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay.
That makes sense.
I agree with that. I think that I'll go to a place that has bad service, but it says the food's worth it.
Right.
Right.
As long as it isn't like a steakhouse or someplace I'm paying a really hefty price.
Right.
Because I expect all around
Yes.
good at that point. But I never thought of it like 3.5 is a good because
Bad.
because people that give reviews are pretty insufferable, man. Like
Definitely.
oh, they didn't have good napkins, and you're like,
They
what are
want
you
it
talking
perfect.
about?
Right.
Or restaurants can have bad days.
There was a spot on my water glass or fork. Yeah.
Water
So-
spots are fine. It's the lip marks that I don't like.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest,
True.
even lip marks don't put me for a twist.
Because it's at least sanitized, you
I mean,
think?
if it's unless you've washed dishes, settle down. Your glasses are perfect.
I know
Yours-
the glasses in my cupboard don't have lip marks on
Right.
them, but yeah.
Well, no, because you don't wear lipstick.
Well, no.
But like the idea that mistakes don't happen is bizarre to me. If there's lipstick on a glass, I go, hey, can I get another? I don't assume the whole meal is a catastrophe and not good because there was lipstick on the glass. It will not sway me on whether that I should eat there because someone put in a review, hey, there was lipstick on a glass. You're paying somebody pennies to wash dishes.
Right.
What are your expectations? I also believe in the Schrodinger's cat thing. It is only dirty because I can see the lipstick.
Right.
It was dirty before. I just didn't see the dirt.
Yeah.
Let's see what Lindsay has for Balls to the Wall Sports.
Aaron Rodgers' impending departure from the New York Jets has his future in the NFL up in the air. Rodgers played his best football down the stretch of the 2024 season, but New York only won 5 games as he returned from a torn Achilles injury. Fox Sports reported on Sunday the Jets told Rodgers they would move on from him, whether it is a trade or an outright cut. There would only be a few teams where Rodgers could realistically go and start. The Pittsburgh Steelers are among the handful of teams that will have a decision to make with their quarterback situation. Do they bring back Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, or do they turn their attention to the free agent market and go after someone like Rodgers? Steelers safety Deshaun Elliott made it clear he does not want Rodgers in black and gold. Elliott responded to an Instagram post that said Rodgers was a betting favorite to land in Pittsburgh. He said, leave his ass at the retirement home, he wrote before apparently deleting it. The NFL world made sure to screenshot the remark before it went away. Rodgers has yet to say one way or the other that he will play one more season. He'll turn 42 next December. The 10-time Pro Bowler had 3,897 passing yards, 28 touchdown passes, and 11 interceptions in his lone full season with the Jets. He has not thrown for at least 4,000 yards since the 2021 season with the Green Bay Packers. Now, I also read that the Jets office, before deciding to part ways with him, had told him that if he were going to stay with the team, not only did he have to participate in all practices, but they wanted him to stop participating in the Pat McAfee show during the season because they felt it was a distraction.
Yeah, and I can see him being like, "You can't tell me what to do.
Exactly.
You don't own me." They do.
Yeah.
And I see him playing again, even if he doesn't think he can.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess who gets a cap hit?
The
Jets. And he is a petty person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I can see him financially trying to hurt them.
And I think he gets from the Pat McAfee show like $1 million.
That's the rumor, is that McAfee pays him $1 million to be on the show.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think he'll definitely go somewhere.
Yeah, just to be petty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that is your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by the award-winning service of Groundworks Tulsa. More of the
I think about that. Like certain things we had to convince people it wasn't okay. Your moral compass wasn't straight enough to think it was not okay. You were like, wait, no, okra's good.
Right. And you always hear the stories of like the dads, diddling the daughters. And, back at that time, you never hear of the mothers.
Because they knew their place.
Right. Well, yeah. You're
I'm
right.
I'm making a joke, but also that was fact.
Right. At that point in time. I guess there is Oedipus. But again, Oedipus's mom did not pursue him. He pursued her. So guys are just skeevy pervs, man.
Remember, women being allowed to vote's a fairly recent thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Fairly
You gotta
recent.
remind me.
There's a TV show called Hacks. It's pretty funny. And in the this one episode, they are trying to get Fatty Arbuckle's kids to give him the silent film act. Don't even waste your time. A silent film actor's son, grandson, to give them the rights to the movie so they can get someone else to do a thing, right? And they're like, why don't you just, because he wouldn't let him leave without reading the script at his house. And they're like, why don't you just come? I'll read it. You can come to my house for Christmas because this is on Christmas Day.
God.
Yeah, it's whatever, funny. And so he's like, okay, so the grandson is in the back seat. They're driving. A woman's driving, and they're having dialogue. And all of a sudden he goes, women drivers, amazing. Literally the funniest line I've seen in that show, and there's some really funny lines. Because it's such a recent thing, this guy's so removed from society. He just is in awe of seeing a woman drive.
Yeah. You'd be surprised at what they're doing nowadays.
I love that you say it like it's a negative, whatever it is.
Right. Well, no, it's not. It's not. I mean, it's a wonderful thing.
It should be not a surprise that they're doing multiple things.
Well, no, but he would be surprised. Flash forward, these people from the past to the future now, like, holy crap, they can drive, they can vote, they can leave the house.
Run for president.
They can have an opinion.
Right.
They can have money to spend, pockets.
Right.
The part... Women weren't allowed to have pockets. That's a real thing. Go look it up if you don't believe me. It's the craziest rabbit hole you'll go down.
Because they don't want to masturbate.
Yeah, women, because they had a massive problem with that.
Yeah.
There's a number of stories we read of women just diddling.
Well, anytime I see a woman with her hands in her pockets, that's what I'm thinking she's doing.
Anyone.
Right.
You might be the problem.
Yes.
That's why my hands never go in my pockets. I'm not touching myself. God.
I think it's interesting that you think that's would be the thing that would bother them if they came back from, not the fact that we have a computer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, a burger in 5 seconds, air conditioning.
Right. Indoor plumbing.
Yeah. There's typhoid fever's in a thing.
Right.
People are older than 30. I think those things would surpass and women can do things.
Maybe so. It just depends on who you ask, I guess.
If you say that, then
Corbin, you're a philosophy kind of guy. You study a lot of philosophy. You talk about how you read philosophy.
I read it. I wouldn't say I study it, but yeah, that's accurate.
Do you have questions that you often ponder in life, like the ultimate, is a hot dog, a sandwich, or anything?
I mean, not to that degree, but sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's some philosophical questions.
Oh, I love it.
That you might want to ponder on later. Maybe you've never even thought about these.
I'm excited.
Who knows? All right. But we're going to go for it. For example, when we yawn, do deaf people think we're screaming?
Not typically the things I go with, but I hear you. I know what you mean.
Or the ever long question of, if you're waiting for the waiter, aren't you the waiter? Think about that one. Why aren't our iPhones just called apple juice? Makes sense.
Why juice? I don't.
Because the energy you're feeding to it is also called juice.
Okay.
iPhone, apple
Okay.
juice. If you work security at the Samsung store, does that make you the guardian of the galaxy? Philosophical questions that you may not have thought about. How do you throw away a garbage can? Right? It's already garbage.
I just did that last night
You threw away your garbage can? Why?
because it broke. The top of it broke. The spring broke on it.
Yeah, mine did that a long time ago. I just lift the lid.
See, I don't.
Not shocked.
I paid $80 for that goddamn trash can.
Dang.
Yeah, that seems out of character for you.
Yeah, it
Well,
does.
all right, let's take that back. I didn't pay for it. I just kept it when I told the bitch to leave. Nonetheless, she paid $80 for it, but still an $80 goddamn trash can. One, $80 for a trash can. Why? Why? And it had a dent in it when I bought it. Should have been less. Should have been.
When she bought it.
Whatever. When we got it.
I'm surprised you didn't load her
When
stuff
I
in it.
acquired it. And I needed a trash can.
Very few things you buy for life.
Trash cans are one of them. But $80, I'm gonna hold on to that son bitch as long as possible.
I have a Rubbermaid one out in my garage where the handle goes up. It was $7, and it's great.
Right? Maybe I should invest in a different one. If you buy a bigger bed, you're left with more bedroom, but less bedroom. Think about that. Philosophical questions that you may not have thought about. Have you ever felt bugs on you, but there aren't any bugs on you? Those are the ghosts of bugs you've killed.
Sure.
I felt one on me last night, and I mean, it made me move because I felt like I got bit. Honestly,
Maybe you did.
no. Well,
Did you thoroughly check everywhere around and make
I
sure?
did, 'cause
'Cause
I
I'm
was laying in
imagining-
bed.
Yeah, when you felt the bite, I imagine you probably swiped or beat it off somehow.
I did. I turned the light on and I flipped back the sheets, and I thought, is there a damn spider in my bed or something? I was like, if there's a brown recluse in here or something. I've never been bit by a brown recluse, so I have no idea, but it hurt. It really hurt.
Do you have a mark to prove it?
No,
So how do you know it just wasn't your imagination?
it probably was because
Mm-hmm.
I was in that just about to fall asleep zone, you know?
Right? Or you dreamed it
Yeah,
happened.
possibly.
Very well. When you clean the vacuum cleaner, aren't you the vacuum cleaner?
Depends on how you're doing it.
No, you're still cleaning the vacuum, so you are the vacuum cleaner. Nothing's ever really on fire, but rather fire is on things. Think about that. Nothing is ever on fire. You could put something on a fire, but then the fire is on that. If life is unfair to everyone, does that mean life is actually fair?
Now, there's a good philosophical question.
Right.
Philosophical questions you might not have been asking yourself. If you get scared half to death twice, what then? All right.
You're a cat?
Maybe so.
You're a cat.
What are deliveries, why are deliveries on a ship called cargo, but when they're in a car, it's called a shipment? These are questions to ponder yourself. If one teacher can't teach all subjects, why is one child expected to study all subjects? Makes sense.
Not really, but okay.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. If are oranges named orange because oranges are orange, or is orange named orange because oranges are orange?
Right? It's the only fruit named after a color, or it's the only color named after a fruit.
Absolutely. They don't have banana color. I mean, I guess they do.
don't
if you
have
wanna break it down.
Blue. They have blueberries, but they don't have
Exactly.
blue.
Right.
Exactly. Text here came in. Why do we park on driveways but park on parkways? Or why do we drive on parkways but park on driveways?
I don't know very many parkways around here, but I get the point.
The youngest picture of you is also the oldest picture of you. Think about that. The youngest picture of you is also the oldest picture of you.
I see what you're saying.
You know, got a picture of you when you were 6. That is the
Right.
youngest picture of you around. But it's also the oldest picture.
The oldest tangible piece of paper with an image of you. Yes.
If we have watermelon, shouldn't we also have fire melon or earth melon or air melon? The elements. Think about that. Who closes the bus on a door, or excuse me, who closes the bus door once the driver gets off? Because they have that handle.
Oh, yeah.
How does it get closed? Why are towels considered dirty when you get out of the shower clean? Doesn't make sense. You're already clean. You're just wiping water off. But yet the towels are considered dirty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding. This is restraint.
Yeah, I can
You're
see
seeing restraint.
I can see that. Well, let it go, man.
No.
Let it go. Let's have it.
No, no,
He's like, I'm not going to fall.
no, not taking the ticket.
Taking your trap. Why is there a D in fridge but not refrigerator? If you drop the soap on the floor, is the floor clean or is the soap dirty? I've always thought the soap would be dirty.
Yeah, I rinse it off.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Usually because there's a pube or something on it.
Is the S or the C silent in the word sent? Which one is it?
I love that one.
Mm-hmm. Does expecting the unexpected make the unexpected the expected? These are philosophical questions that you should ask yourself. Would Lightning McQueen, you know that guy from Cars?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Would he buy life insurance or car insurance?
I mean, if cars could talk, what are you going to do, right?
Exactly. Big question of the day. Who put the alphabet in alphabetical order? These are questions that we need answers to.
Have you ever seen that comedy bit? I forget the comedian, and he talks about how states became abbreviations. Because this happened, it's a fairly recent thing that they decided we needed a uniformed alphabet.
Right.
And so they started at the top of the alphabet, and they went with Alabama, right?
Right.
And they were like, all right, Alabama. They put a committee together, and they're like, Alabama. And they're like, AL. The guy's like, done. AL. This is going to be easy. We'll be done by lunch. Next state, Alaska. Oh. We just did. Oh, they go, AL. And the guy goes, sir. We just did AL for Alabama. And he goes, all right, well, we'll come back to that. And the bit is they go through and show how complicated, like, wow, it makes no sense, the letters.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. What else we got here? If your shirt isn't tucked into your pants, are your pants tucked into your shirt? Philosophical questions that you should be asking yourself. What else we got here? Why is it called quicksand if you sink slowly?
So I went through pretty much my whole young life believing quicksand was a thing.
Yeah.
And then there was a pretty good period of time, probably from my late 20s until about a month ago, where I was like, quicksand ain't a thing.
Uh-huh.
And then there's this story that comes out like last week or the week after where some woman got stuck in quicksand. So now I don't know what to think.
The world is confusing. It is confusing. I have never honestly come across quicksand. Of course, I don't find myself in many sandy places. You know, a beach is about as close as it gets.
It's a mixture of waterlogged sand and clay.
What did you
And
look up?
salt.
What'd you Google?
Does quicksand really exist?
Now say BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. Happy 28th porn star birthday to Miss Kylie Page from Claremore, Oklahoma. You can check her out in Two Chicks, same time. Big Boob Massage and Breast Intentions 3. Her bust tops out at an impressive 34G.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Oh, good morning, Corbin. Link Park's going to be at the BOK Center on Monday, April 28th. Get your tickets at BOKCenter.com or you can sign up to win some at the website that rocks, KMOD.com.
All right, if you were listening earlier, Gimpy shared maybe one of the worst movies of all time, maybe one of the strangest movies of all time. That's today's top list.
It's time for a Big Man Morning Show's top list. Random topics, randomly drawn with random results. Now here's Corbin, Gimpy, and Lindsay with this week's top list.
Top 5 strangest movies you've ever seen. Top 5 strangest movies you've ever seen for top list. Lindsay.
This is kind of a tough list for me because if it's strange or weird, I typically don't watch it. I'll turn it off.
Yeah, you can't say all of the ones you've watched, right?
Yeah, right. But it's like movies for me is like food and drink for you. If you're not into it, you're just not going to eat or drink it, Corbin. You know, it's like why waste my time on something I don't like? I'm definitely like that with movies. But with that said, number 5 on my list, one that I have seen and just didn't really get it, thought it was strange, was Mulholland Drive with Naomi Watts.
Okay.
And Justin Theroux. Naomi Watts goes into Los Angeles from the Midwest looking to become a movie star actress. And stumbles into this apartment to this woman who has amnesia. And at one point, she changes her identity and then changes into this woman, Rita's identity, looking to find what Rita's true identity is. And she thinks that someone's out to kill her. And it's a movie that's a bit hard to follow. And it was one of those, okay, I've seen it. And it was directed by the late David Lynch, who just recently passed away.
I mean, of all the movies David Lynch done, this is hardly the strangest one. But here's, you said something that I'm interested. So for you, strange is bad?
No, it's just strange is more like hard to follow, or it can be bad, I guess.
I'm asking.
Or just different.
What's your definition of strange? What are we using? It doesn't have to be a collective definition, I guess, but what is the definition for strange? When we talk about the strangest movies, what are those? What does that mean? Because to me, in my opinion, it doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean I didn't like it.
It's just weird and different.
Yeah.
Yeah, just weird and different. And this is one that I didn't necessarily care for. In this example, was Mulholland Drive. Number 4 on my list, a very strange movie that I've only seen once. Maybe, I think only once. That was Teeth. Super strange idea. Not a terrible movie, but strange having teeth in a vagina. Working teeth in a vagina at that. And this woman was mad. This girl was mad. So were the teeth.
Oh, vagina bit me.
Yes, exactly. And there is a scene where she gets raped and her teeth come to her defense. Yeah. Very strange idea for a movie. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I have heard that like 1 in 4 million people that are born with teeth down there. I don't know if that's true.
What?
I think that was in the film.
That's settle down, lice.
Right.
That's no. 1 in 4 million people, whatever. 1 in some large number of people are born with teeth in their vagina.
And that was the whole reason for this movie. The idea of it.
You're just fish hooked, man. You just buy into that right away, huh?
The idea of being born with teeth in the vagina is a myth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also known as a myth of vagina dentata. However, tumors can grow in the vagina that can contain teeth.
There you go.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna bite your finger.
No, like they did in the movie.
Come on.
A strange concept.
Dentata.
Number 3. Christine. Stephen King movie.
Really?
About a killer car. It's a strange concept. I mean, it was a good movie. Guy gets this beautiful pink, what was a Corvette maybe, and falls in love with it, and it has a mind of its own. It's evil and it kills people. I think it was kind of a nerdy cat, but it's strange to think that a car has a mind of its own and can do these things and be super evil.
58 Plymouth.
Oh, 58 Plymouth. Yeah, and he's so obsessed with it. I mean, that happens. People get obsessed with their vehicles all the time, but for the fact that it has a mind of its own, and it's a strange concept. Number 2 on my list, and I find this movie to be great, but it is strange when you think of the film Psycho. Norman Bates has this obsession with his mother. It's strange to keep your mother, your dead mom's body, sitting in a wheelchair, in a rocking chair, in her home changing her clothes and wearing a wig and dressing up as her so you can go and murder people. He was sick and demented. It was a strange but satisfying film. Great horror movie. And the number one strangest movie I have ever watched and just pissed me off the whole time, couldn't wait for it to end, has to be Sasquatch Sunset. And without getting too deep into it, the scene where the first kill scene where he meets the big cat and gets murdered by the big cat, that
Alpha
Sasquatch.
Squatch, yeah.
I thought, okay, good. I hope when they find him, can that big cat kill the rest of them and this movie end right here, right now? And then when that didn't happen, the second scene where he dies under the log, I thought, oh, okay, it's going to show us how all of the Sasquatches end up dying out of stupidity. And that's why we can't find Bigfoot, because they've all killed themselves off.
No, you watch the
due to
movie, they
stupidity.
bury their dead.
Right. I see. I know. And so then when that didn't happen, I was like, oh my God, how much more of this do I have to sit and watch? I was just getting mad the entire time. Yeah. This is the dumbest, most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
I'm glad that I could waste an hour and a half of you guys' time.
Oh yeah, you sure did. That has to be number one.
We're doing top list strangest movies you've ever seen. Gimpy.
Number 5 is Human Centipede. All right, the idea of linking people together, A to M to M, A to A to M to A to M, whatever. That's just bizarre. Whoever thought of that movie and was like, this is a good idea, I think needs to be slapped with a slice of beef. That's just my opinion. And the fact that they made 2 other ones after that, I think is just oddly bizarre. Like, you watch the first one and you're like, yeah, we should totally do a sequel. And then another one on top of that, which are equally as bad. That's number 4. That was number 5. Number 4 is a movie called Talk to Me. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but there's a group of kids that conjure the dead by grabbing on to this hand, and like this, you don't know what spirit you're going to get, right? That comes through this hand.
Is that fairly recent?
It is somewhat recent, only like last couple of years or whatever. What is this? What does it say? Yeah, it's a 2022 film. It's a good movie, definitely strange. The spirits, they possess the body of the person that grabs this weird, creepy, dead hand. And then they, at some point in time, the main character ends up communicating with their dead mother and becomes obsessed with it. It's like, I want to talk to my mom again, but, you know, bad things happen every time that you grab this hand and talk to the dead. And they're doing it as, like, party tricks and stuff like that. It's an interesting movie, but definitely strange. Number 3 here, as soon as I can get my goddamn phone to do exactly what it's supposed to do. The Lobster. We've kind of talked about that one before. Dystopian world. If you're single, you've got 45 days to find a mate. And if not, then you're getting turned into an animal of your choice. And it's hard to follow, but yet so weird you're in it. You know, it's definitely bizarre. The Lobster.
Oh, so weird you're in it. I'm never trusting you with that again after Sasquatch Sunset.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, number 1 is going to be Sasquatch Sunset. That beats any strange-ass movie that I've ever watched ever before in my life.
Yeah. Not to be spoiler, but yeah. Top list, strangest movies you've ever seen. I could have picked Pink Flamingos. I could have picked Human Centipede. I tried to pick movies that are fairly recent. I could have picked Mother. Well, these are all movies I mentioned before as very bizarre movies. But I tried to pick current movies, with the exception maybe like one. And that is, which I'll get to. That's number 4. Number 5, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay, I've heard of it.
It won an Oscar. I believe it won Best Movie. She she travels around in time and these like time warp things, and she's different people, and it's just a very strange movie. Again, I don't think this necessarily means the movies are bad.
Right.
They're just strange and bizarre to follow. And this movie, for sure, when the movie ends and you go, well, that was strange, is what I'm going for here. So Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. That's number 5. Number 4, Donnie Darko.
Okay.
It is a strange movie. To tell someone what it's about is not an easy thing. Jake Gyllenhaal, you get introduced to him, the bunny, the jet engine falling. You watch it, when it's over, you go, well, that was bizarre. Number 3, again, this is a very popular movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's got some great boobies in it, and that is Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay.
Very strange.
It is a Stanley Kubrick movie. Tom Cruise, his wife Nicole Kidman. He comes across this underground sex world, and maybe one of the eeriest soundtracks ever, with the for whatever, I can't even duplicate it. But very bizarre movie, very strange all the way around. Plays with your mind the idea that there is this world that exists that you aren't a part of, that includes it's very weird. Lots of sex. He even gets with a child. It's very weird.
What?
Yeah. Number 2 would have been number 1 if not unseated this week. And number 2, again, a highly acclaimed movie. The acting in it's really good. But there are many times watching this movie where I go, this is a strange movie. And that is Saltburn.
I remember you talking about that.
Yes.
Yeah. I've never seen it, yeah.
There's some scenes that would make you dry heave. It made me dry heave. One where he slurps the bathwater of this guy. It's very weird, but he's not attracted to guys. It's weird. It's a very strange movie. Again, the acting's in it. The writing's very complex. Blah, blah, blah. Strange. And then number 1, with a movie that made me lose respect for the individual that recommended it. I knew something was up when he gave me his Paramount Plus password so I could watch it.
Yeah, you needed to watch it.
And because he's just not that guy. He just doesn't hand that stuff out. So
It's Paramount Plus. It's not my bank account.
and it's got your credit card in it. I'm gonna mess up your algorithm so good.
Go for it. Have fun.
But it is strange for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're high and you want to be like, you guys want to watch a strange movie, this is, I think, totally safe to put on. But it is not a good movie. If you had to go, oh, it's good in lighting or good in story writing or the acting's good, I would probably go with it is good in strangeness.
There you go.
It's just strange. I don't fall asleep watching movies very often because much like how Lindsay started, if I'm not interested, I just don't do it. Mm-hmm. And I had to fight to stay awake behind the wheel of my car in the pickup line. Mm-hmm. It is a very strange
It's
movie.
crap. It pissed me off watching it. I was like, when is this over?
Somebody texted us, and it was it was a backup for me, and that is Midsummer, and that is the movie about these kids that they're in Sweden, I think Sweden, for this festival, and people get killed, and it's very bizarre.
That's a weird movie. Yeah.
I had that new movie that people are talking about, A Real Pain, which is Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin, and it's a very strange movie.
He's just into doing strange movies then.
Yes, I think he is. Jesse Eisenberg and his cousin go to visit a concentration camp because their grandmother died. Mm-hmm. And you're not sure what the movie's about until you realize it is about everybody goes through their own trauma.
Right.
And you can't undermine one person's trauma just because you didn't get tortured in a concentration camp. You can have trauma just because someone died in your life. Don't have to be gassed
Right.
to experience that. So, another one, Kevin Smith's Tusk, a strange film. It is a strange film.
Oh, yeah.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Great movie, not horror. Definitely wouldn't doubt it how strange it would be with that amount of drugs. Yeah, I honestly, Gimpy loves this movie. My brother loves this movie. I think this movie's garbage
It's weird.
for many reasons. Top 5 strangest movies. Teeth, Yoga Hosers,
Never heard of it. But it's on Amazon Prime, so you know what I'm watching tonight.
The Velocipaster,
Never heard of that either.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Tusk. Yeah, that feels fair. Donnie Darko, Eyes Wide Shut, Swiss Army Man, yes. Yellow Brick Road, yes. I Saw the TV Glow, don't know it. The Rubber Movie.
Yeah, it's about an escape tire that kills people.
Oh, yeah, and it bounces through. Yeah, I do remember that now. Chud is a really bizarre movie, if you know that movie. It's any B-level horror movie like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes,
Right.
The Rubber, all those fall in line with that, I think. Somebody texted in top 5 strangest. The Sadness, a weird Korean movie. Blue Velvet, a David Lynch movie. I thought that movie was really good. It is a little artsy, though. Your Monster, weird imagining of Beauty and the Beast. 2, Mad God, a really weird stop-motion animation movie. I don't love stop-motion animation, so. And then number 1, The Man Who Killed Hitler and also The Bigfoot. This is a real movie starring Sam Elliott. Okay. Was unaware of that. Sam Elliott did a movie about killing Hitler and Bigfoot, huh?
Yeah.
That and Gronk commercials. Okay. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
More of the Big Man Morning Show is next.
Plastic surgery, in a lot of cases, helps people's mental state dramatically.
100%, especially for those that have undergone a lot of weight loss.
Yes.
And then they have the drooping skin and
Yes.
stuff like that. That should be covered
Yeah.
for mental.
I don't know if and I don't know if you should get calf implants. Should be covered. I don't know how much self-esteem you could make an argument. Why not try and make an argument for it?
Like leg extensions, maybe, for the vertically challenged.
Not leg extensions, but you can get calf implants to make your calves look bigger.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Leg extensions feels like a medical necessity.
Okay, maybe so.
I don't know. But I feel like any of those, I'm good with all of it being covered in some degree. Because you don't know what's good for me. You're just somebody behind a desk. But I was shocked at the sheer number. I was like, how many people go and are like, ha ha ha, finally, look what I can do. How long does it take? How long does it take to pump it up?
I mean,
And
Probably just a couple, like maybe 30 seconds at most.
I've been in a consultation for a breast augmentation, so I've heard the doctor go, what would you like to go with? Here's what I would recommend. And does that happen in penile implants?
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah.
I'm sure they're always trying to upsell you.
I don't know.
And furthermore, Susan, if you redecorate one part of the house, but you still have those old ass chair and footstools sitting there, do you get what you picking up what I'm putting down? Like
Yeah.
you got a new schlong, but do you replace? Do you get new testes to go with it?
I mean,
It's going to look improportionate.
I'm just making an assumption. When you get an implant, the idea of you procreating's over.
Right.
True, but you
So-
want things to look.
Listen, if you have a shed in the back of your house that you never use and don't put anything in, and your house burns down, the insurance company ain't going to rebuild your shed. You didn't use it. Just saying. I want to know, is there different models and versions? Like when you get an breast augmentation, there's choices.
Oh, yeah.
Right. The filler that's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there is.
And like we know people that are diabetic and they don't have to do the test. It's just a thing that updates on their app. They get warnings and notifications. It's very sophisticated.
Yeah.
And will even, in some instances, disperse the insulin needed.
Yep.
Can you do that with a pump? Is there like a Tesla model where you go, hey, from 4 to 5 or like, I don't know. Hey, I'm going to be on a date.
I want to be erect from this time to this time.
Yeah. Is there like, in the colder months, do you have to let the car warm up? I don't know.
Right. That's fun.
Is there a remote start? Is there a subscription that it can let you know when things aren't right and like you need to? I'm just
Bluetooth capable.
Yeah.
It feels like because this is a man surgery that there'd be all these extra things that are unnecessary to continue to let a man be lazy.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely, yes.
Do you name it? You know people that get their limbs chopped off and they have phantom limb surgery or
Yes.
feeling where they feel like their limb's still there in many instances and have usually some sort of psychosis episode happen with dealing with it and trying to come to terms with it. Does that happen when you get a penile implant? Like, kind of like after you've been to the gym and you're like, look at me.
Right. Well, that's what happened with this guy, the falconer.
Yes.
Look at me.
Women do that with breast augmentations too, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Time.
Yeah. Man angered by barking dog cuts fingers from man with machete. This happened in the Bronx on Friday, all because of a barking dog. A man was walking his dog near a bodega in the Bronx. His dog began barking at another man who police say didn't like it. He got so angry, they say, the man pulled a machete, tried to attack the dog. And when the dog's owner stepped in front, like, hey, the man swung the machete and sliced his fingers off,
Ooh.
removing 4 of his fingers, 3 which they recovered and had a 14-hour surgery to put the fingers back on. 1 they can't find, and according to the guy who this happened to, he says, I think a bird took it.
I think the dog ate it.
Right.
Maybe. They're looking for this guy. They have no idea his name. The person that this happened to says that people were taking video and not helping him. And at one point had to yell, please call 911.
Wow.
Because so many people were just shooting video and standing around.
Right. Well, trying to get that next viral moment.
At most, I don't know how much you get, but I would think at most you get what, like $300, maybe $100?
Maybe so. I don't know.
I think it depends on how many followers and views you get.
I don't
But
even.
You're not going to get all that off of one video.
I think that has anything to do. I think it has to do with how good the video is.
And then other like news agencies will pick it up, buy it from you. So
Yeah, that's true.
You could probably get it, at least $1,000.
Ooh, I don't think so. You think?
Maybe.
I don't know anybody that's gotten money doing that.
Nor do I.
So it must be for many people that just decide to, become a Kodak moment. I don't know anybody that gets money. Matter of fact, the video the news agency used was from a surveillance video that the police released.
Yeah.
I'm more shocked over how many people are using machetes nowadays. You
Right.
really don't seem to hear a lot about that, except for the last year or so. We've read so many stories of people attacking other people with machetes.
I mean, I'm somebody who believes that news is hardly new. So I think we just hear about it more often.
Right.
I think machetes are just easy to carry.
Right, exactly.
I don't know how.
Well, on your hip. Shatink.
They're not small.
No.
No. I mean, I have a machete, and it's serrated on one side. So that wouldn't, unsheath that would not be awesome.
I don't know. Maybe they carry it on their back like a sword. I don't know.
And I think there's a limit to how long a blade can be. I don't know what it is in New York, but I don't think you can just carry a machete on you in a sheath around, maybe while you're working in the jungle.
Right.
Right, of course.
But I don't think you can just walk into a grocery store with a, what are those blades? They've got to be at least 13, 11 inches. That's what she said.
And this was in New York, you say?
Yeah. But I don't think you can just walk around with a machete strapped.
Right.
It says in New York State, knives with blades longer than 4 inches are prohibited
There you go.
in New York City, but not in the rest of the state.
Okay, well, the Bronx is New York City.
Yeah.
So what does he hide it? What do you hide it in? A backpack?
He pulled it out of his coat.
There we go.
According to the reports, he reached into his coat and pulled out a knife. A knife.
Key West couple arrested for having sex on a public sidewalk. This happens last week at 4:20 in the morning.
BMMS, and then what you want to say to 82945. Now, when I was putting my list together for Top List, a movie that got put on there was Pulp Fiction. Because Pulp Fiction is a strange movie. It is told out of chronological order. There are different, the dialogue's very bizarre. Like, it's just a strange movie, right? And so then that sent me down a rabbit hole of movies that are like Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Because I think Pulp Fiction lands on its own island. I don't think there are really any movies like Pulp Fiction. But when I give you the list of these movies, we'll see if we agree that they are similar to that movie. Now, to me, Pulp Fiction is a movie of, like, a growing up movie for me.
Right.
I remember watching that being like, I remember my parents renting Reservoir Dogs and coming home after being out, seeing what they rented, saw that, put it in, and stayed up till like 3, 4 in the morning watching this movie on my parents' on the living room TV. And that sent me down the journey of Quentin Tarantino.
Right.
So one of the movies on this list, Baby Driver.
Okay.
Do you know this movie?
I don't know.
I've heard of it. I don't think
yeah.
I've ever watched it, though.
So it's basically Kevin Spacey, Lily James, and it's got a bunch of twists in there. It's supposed to have like a 30-song soundtrack that everybody says is really good, and it's a take on an older movie. Okay. Boondock Saints.
It's a great movie.
Great movie.
The sequel, not so much.
No. I would agree. That is very similar to Pulp Fiction in its strangeness, in the story dialogue, the character development in it.
Yeah. It's where I met Norman Reedus for the first time.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think everybody. Yeah. Fargo.
Okay.
Yeah. That definitely fits.
Coen Brothers movie, if you have not seen this, set in, people think North Dakota, but it's actually Minnesota and North Dakota. William H. Macy arranges for his wife to be kidnapped by a pair of goons played by Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare. And in a plot to extort his father-in-law and bail himself out of financial problems. The straightforward plan sets in motion a chain of events that get increasingly complicated, darkly hilarious, and deadly. I don't think that's like Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
It's strange. It is strange,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
but it doesn't have the same endearing quality that Pulp Fiction does and Boondock Saints has.
Okay.
And is Steve Buscemi and Stomar supposed to be like John Travolta and Samuel Jackson? Because if so, they're not.
No, they are not. Those are those two characters. They're the heroes of the movie.
Right. But who else are two peas in a pod in that film?
Is that what you mean by?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even in. Buscemi's a French character. It is the lady sheriff is the.
She's the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then William Dafoe.
Yeah.
William H. Macy.
Oh, thank you.
H. Macy. Yeah.
Yeah. Get Shorty.
Okay, yeah, that's a weird movie, for sure. Kind of has the same Pulp Fiction-esque sort of feel to it.
Yeah. Gangster in Florida who heads out to Hollywood and being movie obsessed gets tangled up in a film deal. I don't think it's like that. Go.
Oh, that one was fun.
It was a strange movie. It's a kind of a Pulp Fiction-esque type of movie, according to this description, that Sarah Pauly decides to purchase ecstasy to make a quick buck so she can pay her rent. The film flashes back repeatedly to fill in the stories of various supporting characters in the storyline. Yeah, okay. It's a bizarre storyline.
Yeah. That's about it, though.
Yeah. In Bruges, pretty great movie. If you've ever seen it with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. Brendan Gleeson was the sheriff in Gangs of New York.
Okay.
If you know that movie reference. Very large Irish man. Great dialogue, but I don't think it's like that at all. Jackie Brown.
Okay, what's another Quentin
Yeah.
Tarantino movie? So that makes sense.
I agree. If it's a Quentin Tarantino movie, it's going to have similarities to Pulp Fiction. Killing Zoe.
Never heard of it.
I don't know this either, but it was co-written by Tarantino and Roger Avery in 1994, the same year that Pulp Fiction was released. And it stars Eric Stoltz in it, who was in Pulp Fiction.
Right.
And mixes crime genre tropes with unexpected comedy. Stoltz plays Zed, a safecracker who visits Paris to work on a bank heist, only to fall for a beautiful French sex worker played by Julie Delpy, and eventually discover that she's connected to the job in ways he doesn't realize.
I've never heard of this movie.
Zed's own nerves plus the chaotic nature of the job mean that he's in over his head from the beginning, and it only gets wilder from there. Well, I mean, that sounds interesting. Okay, Julie. Okay, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Okay, British movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah. Is it Pulp Fiction-ish?
I think so. It's very bizarre storytelling. The dialogue's very crazy. Yeah, I'll go with that. Out of Sight.
Don't remember this one.
Is that George Clooney?
And who else, Lindsay?
And Sandra, or not
Nope.
Sandra, no, the
Jennifer
Big Boo. Oh,
Lopez.
yeah,
I was
J-Lo.
going to let her figure it out. But yes, Jennifer Lopez.
I have seen this.
Steven Soderbergh movie.
And it's like, what, George Clooney is like a bank robber or something, and Jennifer Lopez like a FBI or
Yes.
something like that? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is it like Pulp Fiction, though? I don't think so.
No.
Don Cheadle's in it. Michael Keaton. Sexy Beast.
Yeah, thanks.
Ray Winstone. Ben Kingsley. They follow the career of career criminals who's now retired, only to find himself tormented by an old associate who shows up and wants to pressure him into robbing a bank. Suicide Kings. Okay. Came out in 97. And it has got Christopher Walken in it. It is a group of friends who decide to kidnap a former mob big shot after one of their sisters is also kidnapped, thinking that they'll be able to trade their target for some ransom money and everyone will walk away unharmed. What happens is a dark, twisty, often funny game in which Walken shines as a captive who's always one step ahead of his captors. Train Spotting, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about that movie. True Romance. Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette. She's a sex worker in Alabama. In an effort to free Alabama from sex work and skip town, the couple accidentally steal a bag filled with cocaine and are suddenly thrust into the world of violent criminals. Usual Suspects.
Okay.
I would say Usual Suspects is a very family-oriented version of Pulp Fiction, but I wouldn't let my kids watch it.
Okay.
It is bizarre. The storyline's all over the place. The characters are great. There's just some good twists. That would be that would be one that I think. You know what I was thinking of too? What is the movie? I'm going to have to look it up. A movie where they go to Vegas, Christian Slater's in it for a bachelor party, and what's his name from is it Arliss? No, that's a different Entourage. Arnie from Entourage is in it, and they're having sex with the sex worker in the hotel room got her on the back of the towel hook.
Yeah.
That movie feels very Quentin Tarantino-esque.
Okay, yeah. I know what movie you're talking about. I can't think of the name.
I'm going to be able to get it real quick.
Right.
Jeremy Piven is the actor that I'm talking about. And
Nymphomaniac?
no. And Very Bad Things
Yeah.
is the movie.
Yeah. And they don't know what to do. They start freaking out because, well, they got a dead hooker.
Yeah.
Whatever. They don't know what to do. Yeah.
Slater, Cameron Diaz, John Favreau, Jeremy Piven, Daniel Stern, Jeannie Tripplehorn, her husband. Yeah. It's a great cast.
Mm-hmm. Weird movie.
Strange, for sure. Dude, I would lose my mind if I was partying with my friends and they have a stripper show up and then they kill her. I'm calling the police immediately.
Right.
I don't care if we're no longer friends after this.
You have to. You have to.
At that moment, it's about self-preservation. Anyway, whether those movies are about Pulp Fiction, I don't know. I feel like that's a giant statement to say any movie's like Pulp Fiction. It is, you could make an argument it is one of the best movies of all time, from writing to directing to casting people. I mean, it reinvented John Travolta's career.
Right.
So I don't know very many movies that are like that. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
Tulsa's Morning Show is coming right back. The Big Mad Morning Show. Tulsa's Rock.
Like, well, no, his body adapted.
Right.
Martin Van Buren, right?
Number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He allegedly had a plan to stop the Civil War and said, I'm going to form a committee, and then he died.
Oh, or was he?
Right, exactly.
murdered?
I mean, if you go back and read history about the Civil War and the the ways to stop it or whatever, or not stop it, it's pretty, conniving.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. William Henry Harrison, he died from a fever.
Oh, no.
If you might remember, he was like, no, I don't need a coat.
Right.
He died, got a little sicky.
Went outside with his wet hair in the cold, huh?
Right? Let's see. There was a really good one here that I wanted to bring up. James Polk died of cholera.
Okay, yeah, that seems about right.
Zachary Taylor, he died from gastroenteritis, which is diarrhea. He had severe stomach pains for 5 days and then died.
Oh, damn.
We're like, I got some stomach cramps. How long do I go? Not this guy.
Right.
Because you couldn't do, there was no internet.
Right.
Millard Fillmore.
Oh, Millard.
Right. Yeah. He died. Okay. He apparently, this is pretty funny. All right. So after finishing Zachary Taylor's term, he sought to be the nomination for the presidential election, but they chose someone else. To add insult to injury, he didn't even win the election. He lost to Franklin Pierce. Go Pierces. At least when the other party told him to F off.
Whoa.
Oh, poor Millard.
Yeah. He just died of natural causes, but Franklin Pierce died of cirrhosis of the liver.
Old drinker there, huh?
James Buchanan, he died of respiratory failure. Lincoln, can you guess?
He went crazy and lost his head.
Oh.
Or did he? He got killed by a celebrity.
You're right.
Not a joke.
Nope.
Famous actor killed him. Who was jealous of his brother, who was actually more famous than him. And he was like, I'm going to be more famous than my brother. I just didn't know so many presidents died of diarrhea.
Yeah, right.
No.
It's a thing.
It makes sense, though, especially for that time in in history.
And to think we don't know, I got to be honest, I don't know if I've ever been told a president has diarrhea.
No. There might be a reason behind it now because so many of them die. We're like, listen, we don't need to scare the citizens. We'll just tell them that you got a little stomach bug. We won't tell them you got diarrhea.
Yeah.
I mean, when you become the president, your movements are highly influential to the market, to the world, to people's emotional state, right? So imagine going from just being like, whatever, and then you've got to let some guy know, like, hey, I got the Hershey's, man.
Right.
And they're like, God, hit the buzzer. Get everyone in here.
Yep.
Or you're like, two, and they're like, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
Get every doctor in the country.
Yeah. Get him a
right here,
mask.
right now.
Right.
Call the doctor.
Or maybe, you think your president's like, I don't need nobody's help. Get back.
I'm fine.
All right, but as soon as you got diarrhea, sir, we're stepping in.
Right. This
Right.
is a matter of your diarrhea is a matter of national.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. There have been times I thought mine was a matter of national security.
For real. For real.
At least some sort of security. There was definitely some border security issue
Right.
when I've had it before. Little rabbit hole I went down that I found incredibly fascinating.
I wonder if the president has somebody that's like, sir, you can't eat that. It's going to give you massive diarrhea.
Yeah, you're allergic to that,
Yeah.
according to your last food sensitivity test.
I bet it's a little more elevated than that. I bet there's one, I bet he can ask for anything he wants.
For sure.
And two, there's probably a little more precautionary measures taken. It wouldn't surprise me if his stuff, I can't imagine the city sewage is connected to the White House. It wouldn't surprise me if the president's sewage gets incinerated or...
You are not wrong there at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all either because people are weird.
Well, foreign governments.
Foreign government, I mean, I don't know what kind of information they're going to get, but at the same time...
Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. All right, we'll start with Lindsay. Lindsay, what'd you learn today?
I learned for Valentine's Day, I'm treating her to a 3.5-star restaurant, said no one ever. And I learned in Sasquatch Sunset, they aren't just avoiding humanity, but also any chance of an Oscar nomination.
Gimpy, what'd you learn today?
I learned that just because a movie won the grand prize at Cannes doesn't means it's going to be a great movie. Sasquatch Sunset. And I also learned that the winner of Rocks and Roses goes to Cody Wagnon from Skiatook. He got the $1,000 grand prize. Congratulations, Cody. Go buy yourself something nice.
I learned some jobs you just take home Post-it notes or pens, but if you're a dentist, you take whippets. And I also learned, listen, I've got an idea for a movie about a woman who was a wheel driver for the mob and then escaped the mob, moved out to L.A. and had to run away from her abusive husband, decided she would start doing stunt driving in movies and films because no one would see her face and the mob wouldn't be able to find her or her ex-husband and then created a stunt organization for women only. What do you think? Is that a good movie? No. Okay, well, I got this other idea about some Sasquatch and we watched them bang.
Brilliant.
That one? Okay. Yeah. That is a real story, by the way, of a woman that really did all those things. Can't make that a movie, though.
No.
It's Corbin Say, make sure that dishwasher's loaded right.
It's Lindsay, stop tracking my cycle.
This is Gimpy, and I'm sorry.
Far too kind. Ready?
Robotics and Hollywood makeup artists. Do we really need cloning anyway? Because somebody can make a robot. We'll use Elon Musk as the example. Somebody can make a robot Elon. Looks just like him with the improvements of AI. Sounds just like him, you know? And then you start digging through, you can get all of his little quirks and weirdness, and then people would believe it. And then you could kill off the real Elon and then have robot Elon walking amongst us.
I don't know why I can